Hello everyone, and for the final time on F1 2020, here we are in IRC, and it is for the Chinese Grand Prix. And well, we've got to make the most of China, haven't we? Because we're not even sure if it's going to be on next season's game, are we? Of course, there's a lot of question marks over the Chinese Grand Prix, isn't it? Of course, the last race in China was actually back in the 1000th F1 race, wasn't it? Back in 2019. Goodness me, that feels like a lifetime ago now, doesn't it? But yes, here tonight, though, of course, this is the finale here in IRC. Then let's go through the drivers and the constructors standing, shall we? Then, as of course, there is still a couple of things to play for. One of them is for the. One of them is, of course, for third in the World Championship as well. Steve Kerr, the World Champion, of course, that he was crowned the World Champion quite a number of races ago now, wasn't he? T. Sammy, the outgoing double World Champion, is second. Matt has moved on to third. Timmy in fourth position there. 1 point separates those two drivers then, and a chance to go to the IRC Gala. Fifth position is Roscoe. Sixth is Asdog. Then Fizzy, seven. Double having a strong season, a fantastic season there for Double. Absolutely magical stuff indeed there. And Hog in 8th position. Maxi is in at 9th position. Hog is in 9th position. Maxi's in 10th position. Hog moving up into 9th position. Maxi dropping down into 10th, unfortunately. Just out, and a sprint just outside the top 10 run board sprint now. He does have a possibility of breaking into the top 10. He's only started 4 or 5 Grand Prix this season, hasn't he? Unfortunately for sprint, but he has raced, hasn't he, the last couple of races. It's good to see, isn't it? Sprint, of course. I think it's third in the championship last season. So it's unfortunate we didn't see sprint in his in all of his glory this season. Isn't that right? Val in 12th position, Mason in 30 as well. They both dropped down a position a piece as well. We got Brown in 14th position on 36 points there. JJ on 25 points. He's had a very good second half of the season, JJ has. Scenario 7 in 16th position. Penny and Gas 17th and 18th. PB in 19th. And Lawson completes the completes the top 10 then. Sorry, the top 20, goodness me. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull, the World Constructors' Championship, Constructors' Champions head. We've got Alpha Tari, of course, the defending Constructors' Champions head, who finished second this season. They've got They have got to be very concerned about the hard charge and racing point team. They have been a team on form, haven't they, over the last couple of weeks or so? They are third now. Then Mercedes have dropped down to fourth. Then Alfa Romeo are fifth. Renault, as we're just watching on screen now, are sixth position. And seventh position is the McLaren team. Ferrari are eighth. Williams are in ninth position. Williams are only 4 points away from the Ferrari team, so potentially they can get into eighth position then. And Haas are in 10th in the constructors. Unfortunately, Haas have been confirmed to be bottom of the constructors, unfortunately. Which is such a shame, is it, for the Haas team? Then they've had a very up and down season, haven't they? They've started to really come of age, didn't they, in the last couple of races with Gaz. I think Penny scored a lot of his points at the beginning of the season. The Mick Hakkinen Trophy, it looks like this, and I think the double, as mathematically, I think Double's won the Mick Hakkinen Trophy now, and of course he as well definitely deserved that, as he double has. He's had a fantastic season. Hogg is second on 269 points. Val in third position on 232, I should say. Brown on 206 points. Mason on 171 points. Penny on 127 points. Ristic's 2 points beyond Penny. PB in ninth position on 105 points. Gaz on 104 points. JJ on 101 points. Getting very close there. Scenario 7 on 51. And Dawson on 35. That's the Mick Hakkinen Trophy as well then. It's a good stuff indeed, then. So there's still some things to play for tonight. Sprint goes across the line to put our first time on the board, and he goes across the line, and he's done a 32-4 then to set us on our journey here tonight. So good stuff indeed there for Sprint, and just waiting for the next car to come through, which is Timmy, who has gone second fast. I wonder if he got slipstream there, Timmy, as he's found a full second over Sprint then, which is quite impressive to say the least. But I wonder if Sprint is just betting himself in to this qualifying session. Well, Val's gone quicker still. He's gone a tenth of a second quicker than Timmy, and Val up into provisionally fastest at the moment. Lovely stuff indeed. Then we have got Steve just starting a lap. Then, of course, he is the world champion of RC. Then he's been magnificent, hasn't he? I think that the records that Steve has produced this season, I don't think are going to ever be broken. Oh, I wouldn't say it's who's that? That is Penny, who's got a broken front wing there on the Haas car, and as unfortunately Haas have been confirmed that they are bottom of the constructors champions this season, and unfortunately the Haas team has also got a repair bill coming their way, which is a bit unfortunate. He's right in those curbs there. Penny is there, but he has got a bit of damage on himself. I think he'll be coming back into the pits in the not too distant future then. We're on board then with a Dark Destroyer, and of course Dark Destroyer made his debut last week, didn't he, in the Austrian Grand Prix. I was going to say Austin Grand Prix, then the Austrian Grand Prix. He's got a couple of cars in front of him. There's a McLaren in front of us at the moment. I wonder if that's Mason. It is Mason in front of us. There's also a Mercedes, and Sprint is going for a second bite of cherry, and a Sprint then is improved by 0.2 of a second as he crossed the line. We've got Mercedes in front of us as well as we got Fizzy, who's just gone fifth fastest. McLaren of Mason, then out of the final turn, then going on that curve, then quite nicely did it. Look at Dark Destroyer, goodness me, then he had an opposite full of lock there. He's at a 36.9 then to start his session here tonight. Then there's a competitive edge in this qualifying session here tonight, of course, because you have to stay out of the bottom four cars. Then you have to qualify 15 for above them to get through into qualifying 2 here tonight. Now, Steve goes fastest and almost 0.8 of a second. It is 0.8 of a second in front of Timmy. What a way to start off his time there. Double then is just on the it's on the banking of turn number 13. I think this is lovely over the shoulder shot then with doubles. We're going down the back straight. You've got Temps, who's making his debut tonight. Temps Shadow in the Ferrari making their debut tonight. Good stuff indeed. And Matt is also on a time lap as well. As the good stuff indeed there for Asdog, having a strong end of the season, isn't he? Asdog is in the racing point, and it's also the final time in IRC that we're going to see the pink BWT livery before they become the Aston Martin team for next season. And of course that was going to be the last time we see the Renault team as well, as Double goes 8 fast as well, as they become the Alpine team as well. Then so 2 new teams then in ALR next season. We still have 20 cars of course, so but yes, we will not be seeing the pink or yellow liveries for next season, which is quite a shame really. I think so. I quite like those liveries. They're quite nice indeed. But we are definitely very much looking forward to the racing green livery of the Aston Martin. As into the pits comes a Mason now, and you can see this is the pit entry there. They smoothed over that gravel trap on the right hand side there. Of course, that was where Hamilton beached his car famously in the 2007 Grand Prix, was it there? And unfortunately, it ended his championship charge today, and potentially it cost him his cost him to become the world champion in his debut season as well. Then his Temp Shadow then breaking down into 14 as well. Then now 15, which is a nothing corner really, and then into 16, and the left-hander the left-hander there 90 degree, and Temps goes second fastest there on his this is debut tonight for Temps, and my goodness me, he has really ruffled some feathers there with that opening lap there. That's a very good opening lap there indeed there for Temps. Impressive stuff. But 10 minutes ago in this qualifying session as Brown accelerates away and coming into turn 16 as well. And at the moment, oh goodness me, we had a car just float in front of us there. Good grief. Brown goes 9th fastest in the Williams car. Fizzy, who's doing a couple of laps on his soft tires. This is 4th lap on the soft tires now. Matt 0.2 of a second down. In the pit still we have Penny, who's damaged his car, so he's going to have to go out for another bite of cherry, I would say. Same with Gaz as well. JJ who has a set of time just right. Noah's PBT. Sammy left the session now. Hopefully he can get back in the not too distant future. But we'll see how that one goes. And Roscoe hasn't come out of the pits either yet. And this is Matt's second bite of the cherry. He is in the middle part of the lap now. Of course, the Chinese Grand Prix has been on the Formula 1 calendar since since 2004. I think it was meant to be in the opening 3 races, wasn't it, really? But Bahrain and China swapped positions there, didn't they? Because was it? And that's when Bahrain became around 4 of 2004, didn't it? So there's been a lot of very good races over the years around here, isn't it? It's one of my I quite like the track, to be fair, to drive, and I've got to say some of the races around here have been pretty good. 2009 comes straight to mind. Then when Red Bull won their first ever Grand Prix, didn't they, in Formula 1, and on that it was their first ever 1-2 as well. Matt goes 6th fast then on his second time lap then. Yeah, Red Bull got Sebastian Vettel's second ever Grand Prix win, was it, in Formula 1. That was Red Bull's first ever Grand Prix win, and of course they got a 1-2 as well, didn't they, in that 2009 race. But yeah, it was a very wet Grand Prix, was wasn't it? That Chinese Grand Prix was absolutely a deluge, wasn't it? And it was, I got to say, I was quite surprised that the race went ahead to begin with, because it was quite heavy going, wasn't it? On board of Val at the moment, as he is now into the Essence section of Intermediate 2, before the second sector timing beam is coming up in just a jiffy. Then we got a Renault of Dart Destroyer going for another bite of the cherry as well. He is at 1200 of a second down in car 9. Then as that Dart Destroyer, they're really putting on them some quick laps here, isn't he? They're really putting the car to the edge and beyond its limit. So Dart Destroyer, they're down the back straight, and I think it's a 1.2 kilometre straight, if I'm not very much mistaken. And it's the longest straight in Formula One, I believe so. Then of course I think Baku is the longest that are on the power, aren't they, or on full throttle then, whilst this straight is the longest straight in Formula 1 on the calendar as well. Then Dot Destroyer that over across the line as well. He improved by 3 tenths per second. That's a very good final section there from Dot Destroyer. Very impressive stuff indeed. Then what about Val? We was watching Val before, and he comes into the pits, and Val does said he's fifth fastest, and he is not in imminent danger, is he, of being knocked out of qualifying. Penny out on circuit, and Gaz starting his lap driver on board. Gaz head in the Haas car, going across the grid hatches as well. Starts up there. You can see the Gaz diagonals the straight then to get a bit of a wider entry point in to turn 1 and turn 2. Then of course turn 2 tightens, doesn't it, on the exit before going into 3 as well. And of course it's also downhill as well, and so it's turning, braking, it's downhill. There's a lot to think about in turn 1 and 2, and that's why I usually go straight on. Now into turn 6, this is the scene where Ricardo there, Danny Ricciardo then licked the stamp and sent it, didn't he? I think it was 2018, wasn't it, where he licked the stamp? I think it was indeed, wasn't it? And then as Galzag just flicking it through the S as well. And the other famous race I like around here was the 2011 Grand Prix as well. That was a great race, wasn't it, for all the drivers, and absolutely fantastic stuff, Ben. And of course it was Lewis Hamilton that won the Grand Prix, and the reason why he won that Grand Prix is that he didn't use an extra set of soft tyres, did he, in qualifying, which meant then that he had an advantage over Vettel then by only a couple of laps then, but those laps then were very crucial indeed then for the Grand Prix win, weren't they? Very good, so it was very good stuff indeed there for Lewis Hamilton, was there, of course. That was the first season of the Pirelli tyres, wasn't it? Now we're on 2021, goodness me, the Pirelli have been in F1 for 10 years now. My goodness gracious me. Of course, unfortunately, Pirelli there were kind of in the news for the wrong reasons, weren't they, after last Sunday's race in Baku, but it was, I got to say, it made a very action-packed end to the Grand Prix, wasn't it? As Gaz there comes across the line, Gaz goes at 9 fast. That's a very good time there for Gaz. Very impressive stuff indeed there. Penny in the second sector as well. We've got JJ who having to steer out the corner there. So JJ is going to lose a bit of time. Penny has found 11 seconds in the second intermediate split time. He had damaged the car though, did he, on his first time run? So this is his proper first time run, I would guesstimate here. Then at the moment he's 12 seconds away from a new destroyer, but of course that was because he had damage to the car in car 57. So let's see what we can do then, as he is coming down the back straight with 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. This first qualifying session is about seeing who is going to be knocked out of qualifying when they were only lining up the 4 slowest cars, which at the moment is JJ, PB, T Sammy, the double world champion, and Roscoe as well. Out of the final turn then, and PB there just dropping down the divot slightly as no, sorry, not PB, Penny dropping down the divot there, and Penny goes 11 fastest then. JD then braking down then into the very heavy braking point of a turn of 14 as well. And here is the Ferrari then of JD. And he's been leading that Ferrari team, hasn't he, for most of the season. Doing a good job, I think, JD has, especially the Australian Grand Prix. It's the highlight and my highlight of the season as well. Pretty impressive to say the very least then, as we had a car having a couple of issues. I'm not sure if it was Matt or not, but someone was definitely having a couple of issues. Then Dart Destroyer's done 7 laps on these soft tyres. Goodness gracious me, he's doing a long distance run here, isn't he? Good gosh there. Just got Penny out as well. So we got T Sammy on the medium. Oh, that's a Ferrari off. I think that was JJ who's just off the circuit there. And goodness gracious me. And that's not good at all, is it, for JJ? As JJ's car just parked on the exit of turn 3. I think it's out of 4, and he is out of the session then. But I think that he hasn't damaged the car. I don't think we've seen him coming up trying to get out of that gravel trap, so I don't think he has damaged the car as such, has he? I think he was just trying to recover, wasn't he, on the on the circuit. I'm just about watching T Sammy then as T Sammy, oh goodness me, then he was getting a bit too greedy on those curbs there, wasn't he? T Sammy was but luckily there he was able to control the car, and he's on the medium tires, T Sammy is, and so he feels that the soft tires is probably going to be quite a useful race tire around here. There's Dr. Strode on a lap at the moment. Now T Sammy might be able to get a good slipstream off here, then this is not, he's a bit too close to the car in front now, where he's going to have a lot of dirty air coming off the back of that Renault. And he's and of course that's going to just hurt him in terms of the understeer, isn't it? He is coming down the back straight as well now, isn't he? T Sammy is there, and he is not he's not on full beans at all, is he? So he is just there, just trying to and I think he's about to start another lap now, isn't he? T Sammy said as T Sammy as Dr. Destroyer comes into the pits now. Then T Sammy there with the, of course, the traditional lime green helmet, and he comes across the line. He's done a 36.3. T Sammy has, now he's going to go full beans. I think Roscoe's also emerged out of the garage as well in the Racing Point, and Racing Point are very much the team in form at the moment. Now with Azdog right up in third position now. Of course, the debutant Temps Shadow there having a great debut here tonight. Then right up in new second position now. Pretty impressive stuff to say the very least there from Temp Shadow. Very impressive indeed. As we got T Sammy there just dropping down the hill now as well. He's done that 4900 second up in the first intermediate split time from car 36 then. As T Sammy, I'm wondering how he's feeling about this season. And is he I think he's going to be disappointed, isn't he? But I have a feeling he's going to be raring to go for next season, isn't he? In season 10 of IRC there, where he wants to reclaim his championship gold then, which he lost to Steve earlier on the season then, unfortunately. But I don't think that. But of course, I think in the season break, then he is going to be very much getting himself back on form, isn't he? Very much so. Because as much as Steve's been on absolutely impeccable form, isn't he? I don't think we've seen the best of T Sammy, have we, this season? But even so, I think that Steve has been a level above everyone else, hasn't he? But I love to. But I'm wondering now. I wonder what T Sammy will be thinking about there going into the summer break then of IRC. Then, of course, the last ever race of IRC on F1 at 2020. We've had two fabulous seasons on this game, haven't we? And a very good stuff indeed. That as T Sammy has slowed right down here then, so we're going to leave T Sammy to it for the moment then, but he's going for another bite of the cherry. He needs to get this one sorted because he's running out of time here, isn't he? T Sammy saying could potentially be out of qualifying at this moment in time. So far out of qualifying, and we have lost We've lost PB, who's out of qualifying. Double might be nervously looking over his shoulder, I think, in the pit lane, because he hasn't come back out either, has he? Double hasn't there. Roscoe is cross line, he goes second fast there. Roscoe does. He is going to be feeling much more happier with that. And Fitzy hasn't set a competitive time just yet either. He's 7/10 to second off Double. Out of the final turn then for Fitzy. He comes across the line, and Fitzy goes 7 fastest in the Mercedes. Good stuff indeed. As a new Destroyer is back out on circuit, but he's only got 27 seconds to get around and start a time then. T Sammy, this is all or nothing now for T Sammy. Double is out qualifying, and then that is going to be very disappointing there for Double, isn't it? Unfortunately, out of qualifying after such a stellar season as well for Double, and that is a big blow indeed. We've also lost PB as well. JJ is on the fringes as well. Unfortunately, JJ is in the Ferrari, so that might be a problem there for JJ. Between JJ and T Sammy, who is going to be through and who's going to be out of qualifying one? Then is T Sammy goes around the banked corner of turn number 13. On the back straight as well, then coming down the straight now, and let's see then what he can do then. And look at this as he breaks down into second gear, 40 miles an hour then before accelerating away, and coming into turn 16 as well. He's abandoned his time. T Sammy, the double world champion, is out of qualifying. Goodness me! And while it's going on there, as he is in the pits, and that is incredible stuff for T Sammy to be out of qualifying. Wow, that is horrific stuff there for the double world champion, isn't it? T Sammy out of qualifying. I wasn't expecting that. I'm wondering, he must have had some kind of issue there, didn't he, T Sammy? Because surely he would have been want to have been through in this qualifying session. He's got a lot of cars to overtake than T Sammy, and that is the big news of qualifying one. Is T Sammy out of qualifying? The medium tires just didn't work out for T Sammy. It looks like he couldn't get him fired up, could he? And that is a major blow indeed, isn't it? For T Sammy. Fizzy though is not going to be too concerned about T Sammy because he is safely through into qualifying 2. Then it's a good stuff indeed there for Fizzy as the Mercedes mechanics put him on the dolly wheels and to roll him back into the garage. And yes, indeed. Then so Fizzy there is, oh goodness me, they've done the Matrix and disappeared. So just to confirm then, who's out of qualifying, and PB out of qualifying, double world champion T Sammy out as well. Goodness me. Dart Destroyer unfortunately out this time, and same with a double Cream Cat as well, also out of qualifying. And there are some names that have been very good this season, double and T Sammy, 2 names, and I wasn't expecting to be saying they would be out of qualifying 1 here tonight, but goodness me there. That is why you do not, race on paper, is it? Because it's a live sport there, anything can happen, and it usually does, doesn't it? It's a great Murray Walker usually used to say, didn't he? We got Steeden who's fast then, half a second in front of Roscoe, but the debutant of Tem Sheldon really making some ripples in the water here in the IRC, as he is third fast moon. Very good stuff indeed there from Tem Sheldon. Very impressive stuff, Fendis. We're counting down into qualifying 2. I gotta say, it's unusually sunny around Shanghai, isn't it? I gotta say, I would be, if I was a better man, I would definitely put me Twix on the line tonight, because I would say that there would probably be a bit of rain in tonight's race. That's what I would definitely say indeed. Yang in the comments saying, evening Sean, a shame that you're leaving RC. We shall miss you, and we wish you all the best. Greetings from the Netherlands. Thank you very much, Jan. As yes, indeed. Then my last commentary tonight, then, which is a bit emotional indeed here in IRC, isn't it? But of course, it's been a fantastic privilege, hasn't it? For 4 seasons now. Goodness me. I think the problem that I have with this this role of commentating is it makes the years go by far too quickly. It only feels like yesterday when I first did my first ever commentary in IRC, which I'm sure is in the Spanish Grand Prix, I think it was, alongside Matt I think it was actually alongside Dave, wasn't it? Goodness me. Gosh, that was, I think that was back in season 5 of IRC, sorry, it was in season 1 of IRC Elite, wasn't it? Of course, then when there was 2 leagues of IRC, and goodness me, it's incredible, isn't it, how time flies? So, my goodness me, yes, and so, oh gosh, time flies, doesn't it, when you're having fun? Indeed, then. But they were just watching Gaz then, who's into qualifying 2 then. So it'll be very happy with that Gaz would be. So this qualifying 2 session there for anyone who's for everyone then who hasn't, who is not a regular viewer of Formula 1 on IRC, well, welcome. And of course then the one thing, of course, we must say about qualifying 2, this is where the strategy element of the weekend, or the event begins, I should say. Of course, if you get into qualifying 3, you have to start on your fastest time, which you set your tyres on, or, well, wait, hang on, is that right? Don't know. You have to start the race on the fastest tyres, which you set your fastest time on. I've said it wrong again, but never mind. As we go into turn 14 as well, and for Gaz is about to start his quick lap as well. Let's go on board it, Gaz, and have a lap around here with the Haas driver then. Flicks it into the final left-hander as well. Doesn't want to go too wide. Then straddling the curb a bit there, Gaz did. I think he might have lost a bit of momentum on the Haas car, but nevertheless then he's still giving it full beans, going over the start line as well. There are 2 DRS zones around here. Then Gaz has just activated his first DRS into the start-finish straight. The other and then of course the other one is of course on the long back straight, isn't it? I think it's about a third down that back straight where the DRS is allowed to be activated. Then of course the drivers get a beep in their ear, and they would be able to activate them, but I know that the drivers doesn't really need that beat then, do they? Because they're so in tune with their sensors, aren't they? They know exactly when the DRS sensor will be activated, when it's available. They do not need to worry about they do not need to worry then about, of course, when they were a car behind and all that kind of jazz. And they know exactly when they're a second behind or whatnot. Guards into the second split time. Right, it's done a 52-1 in the second split time, and of course now we've got this final sector is all about the power. So what kind of power is that Ferrari in the back of Gaz's Haas is going to produce down the back straight there? Here it is, a lovely over the shoulder shot here with Gaz, and I think it's what's it called there, this camera? I don't really know what the official name of this camera is called, to be fair, but I just call it the over the shoulder then, really. Gaz ended up breaking down, and the biggest breaking point on the course there, 40 miles an hour. He's tickling there before accelerating away and going, and he's got one corner corner away from home. It's make or break though. This final quarter is oh, look at that! This guy's got a bit too greedy on the exit on the old rear. He goes fastest there, but I think there's a bit more time in the kitty there for Gas. Then, so we keep an eye on that. Then we've got Timmy going faster so far on the medium tires. Timmy is so he's on the yellow marked medium compound tires. Sprint goes third fastest there on a 33.4. So Sprint there might be a bit disappointed with the pace there from that car then, so he might have to find a bit more time then. Matt then out to the final turn, so we're on board with Matt then as he goes across the line. He is fastest so far, 2/10 of a second in front of Timmy. Good hustle. We got Fizzy who's coming out the final turn as well. Fizzy goes third faster, 10 of a second away from his teammate Fizzy and Timmy then, who are very strong teammates this season, weren't they? Fizzy and Timmy. I think the Fizzy has been a bit disappointed with his season as a whole, hasn't he? But I think he's recently I think it was in Bahrain where he really showed his oh no, not Bahrain, I think it was Austria, wasn't it? Or was it Austria or Bahrain? I can't remember now. But we seen the owed Fizzy, didn't we, in the last couple of races then? So that is a very good omen for next season as well. We've got Asdog going through into second then so far, 2/10 second away from Matt, who's the benchmark in this qualifying session. Hog is gone at second fastest, 32.5 and in the middle part of the lap lane as well. We've got yellow flags down the back part of the course then, and Mason was in that facility. I think it was just the Mercedes getting out of his way then. So we're on board with Mason, who I think he was on such a good season, wasn't he, Mason? He's tailed off in the back end of the season, isn't he? But he's definitely a star of the future, isn't he? He's so quick on the one lap pace and as we're just breaking down then into turn 14 as well. They're getting on the curbs slightly, but yeah, Mason there, he's got the hardest part in his arsenal already, hasn't he? Which of course is the one lap pace, isn't it? There, as Mason goes at 9 fast. He proves me wrong there, Mason does there. But I hope I don't put the commentator's curse on Mason. But he's got the hardest part the hardest skill to really master in Formula One, and that's the one lap pace there. As there is a Renault there who is off on the runoff area there, but because Mason's got that one lap pace there very much in his under his blanket of skills, I think the race pace will surely come naturally then. When the more experience he gets in RC, the better Mason's going to become in race trim, isn't he? Because he's already had a pole position. He had a great pole position in the Brazilian Grand Prix. It was the Brazilian Grand Prix, wasn't it? An absolutely fantastic pole position out there from Mason, and of course that's going to be the first of many, I would say, as well. Steve, and here he is, the world champion in car 45. Of course, we have seen a lot of Steve this season, haven't we? We've seen him then leading the races. We've seen him coming through the field as well. Of course, Australia will be one driver, would be one race that lives long in the memory there for me and for Steve, of course, but also for me as well. How he got through the field with only a couple laps to go is beyond me there. And remember, T. Sammy was leading that race as well, wasn't he? And T. Sammy, a double world champion. I would have bet my my gingerbread house on T. Sammy win that Grand Prix in Australia, but Steve proved me wrong there. He was fantastic, wasn't he? That day, Steve was unstoppable. He was just in that mode, wasn't he? Steve coming across the line, he is fast as on a 31.0, a 7/10 of a second in front of Matt. Good stuff indeed there from Steve, and lovely stuff indeed then. Fizzy is Sprint then, who's invalidated time, and we've seen him go off at turn 1 and 2, so he's in the pits now. And of course, I made the most of that yellow Renault then. This is the final race for IRC's for Renault in IRC's history, which is such a shame, isn't it, really? Because the Renault has been ever present, hasn't it, in all of IRC's history. Same with the Racing Point as well. Well, it's actually called the Force India, wasn't it? So before it would transition into the Racing Point. Technically, they are the same team in Silverstone, isn't it? But when they change the name on the door, that's technically a name change for. That's a name change for me. That's a team change for me. So yes, and so Racing Point now hasn't been as long in IRC as the Renault team have they? But Racing Point will become the Aston Martin team for next season, of course. So that's a famous brand then coming into IRC next year. So that's going to be fantastic, isn't it? And Alpine as well, also is also a new team as well as. as he is now coming into the, is he now coming into curves as well, before accelerating away then. And look at this, and there's Brown getting a bit too wide and onto that curb there, isn't he? Brown is there before he comes down the back straight. There is the world champion, see, just getting out of his way. Brown on the soft tires at the moment. Lovely over the shoulder shot from the Williams driver as well, as he is coming down the back straight. Look at this, he's touching 208 miles an hour before breaking down then. He carries a bit more speed, doesn't he, in that corner? Oh gosh, Aaron, that could be, oh goodness me, now he has had a snap of oversteer and he's gone into the wall there. There's some tyre barriers there, but he missed that completely and went into the wall. And I've got to say, the Williams do build them strong, don't they? Good gracious me then. Unfortunately, he has damaged the car and he's going to have to come back into the pits. Brown is. We was talking about how much speed he was carrying, a bit more speed, wasn't it? It was only a couple miles an hour more, but unfortunately that unsettled the car. Roscoe, goodness gracious me, that was wow wide. He was third fastest nonetheless, so Roscoe did that, but goodness me, he might be getting the wrath of the stewards on that one, hasn't it? But good gracious me then. Good gosh, that. So Roscoe there, who's in the third fastest runner. So we've got Temp Shadows out on second running, and look at this, that is, he is just getting himself ready and prime to go then. Timmy 2/10 of a second up, almost 3/10 of a second up in the first split time as well, and before accelerating away then, and going into the S as well. I love this part of the lap, it's really good, isn't it? But unfortunately, if you don't get it right, then you just lose time, hand over fist, don't you? Whether so it's very difficult there to really getting the time back up. Now Timmy there going onto the curve as well. Just keep an eye on Temp Shadows because I want to see his lap there. Of course, the IRC debut on tonight. Now, goodness me, he was fantastic in qualifying one there. And I'm giving him a very keen eye then. Temp Shadows then on his debut here in the final race of the season then. And coming down the back straight as well. Of course, I think I made my IRC debut in the final race of season 4. Unfortunately, I didn't make a big splash as Temp Shadows. Well, to be honest, I haven't said that if I was jumping in this swimming pool, I'll definitely make a bigger splash because of my very wide waistline. We have got Timmy coming into the final turn as well, and look at this, how much Kirby takes on the outside, then going over the curb side, and then Timmy does across the line. He has passed us 3/10 of a second in front of Steve. Good time indeed. Then here comes Temp, who is now starting us off on board the Ferrari. Then I love the helmet as well, very similar to Fizzy's helmet. I think, or was it Timmy's helmet? I think it's Fizzy's helmet actually, as he goes down into turn number 6, I think, this time before accelerating away. And here we go then. And going into the S's as well then for Temp Shadows then, as we're just holding on with Temp, as we go through these S's as well. No, we've got a couple of other cars out on circuit. Penny has just started his up, he is on the soft tire. Temp is on the medium at the moment, or Shadow I'm going to call him, because it sounds cooler, doesn't it, really? We've also got Hog, who is on the soft tire. We've got Gaz, who's also on the soft tire as well. They're also out in the pits then with 3 and 4 quarter minutes there? 3 and 3/4 minutes to go in this qualifying session. As you can see, the beautiful Scala Ferrari coming down the back straight then. It's a shame that you wasn't able to have like additional DLC then for the beautiful Ferrari 1000 race liveried car, because I love the dark red and the burgundy red Ferrari. That was a lush car to look at, wasn't it? It was absolutely beautiful stuff indeed then. Shadow out of the final turn then, and let's see what we can do then. Very much well within the track limits there, and Shadow goes 8 fastest on the medium tires. I don't think that's going to be I don't think he's going to be feeling too safe around there. Penny then, who's just coming on to the never-ending right-handed then, on to the back straight as well then, and look at this then. So now then he is coming down the back straight, DRS then right on the main. You didn't hear the beat then, did you, when we was on board with Penny, because he knew exactly where to press the button, and that's exactly what it did as well. Yellow flags in his Temp there, just getting out of the way then. Sprint has not come on the pitch yet, but he has 2 minutes to go, so he's got plenty of time to come out. Skaz and Hog are already out there, and we've also got Mason out there as well. Oh, Penny going a bit wide then on the AstroTurf. Is that going to lose a bit of time? I don't think he didn't carry the momentum, did he? Unfortunately, like Roscoe did there, who absolutely flew into that turn, didn't he? Goodness gracious me. We've got the McLaren then of, this is what Hog in front of us is Mason then, who's about to start his final run in his qualifying 2 session. And in this qualifying 2 session, similar to qualifying 1, we are aiming to lose the 5 slowest cars. Of course, if you get into the top 10, you must start on the tyres, which you set your fastest top one. So that means that Hog will have to start on this exact tyre that he's driving on tonight then, which he's driving on right now actually. And that's a very good camera angle. Look at how low in the car they sit there. You can't even see the front nose, can you? You have to very much live on your wits, don't you, about to know where that nose cone is there. And as Hog then just hacks on away at that steering wheel, isn't he? Trying to adjust the car's position as much as he can without scrubbing off any speed over the line. And Hog goes third fastest there, and that's going to really ruffle a few feathers there in the paddock as well. Penny has got some. I think he is. Looks like he might be out of qualifying here. Unfortunately, Penny has said is he's running out of fuel, and so Penny then might be limping back into the garage. Then here comes Gaz and accelerating out and into the turn number 16 as well. Then accelerating out, and Gaz there very much losing a bit of momentum now, and he's finished his time now, a second and a half down, but he has got time for one more run. He's also got the fuel as well, which is unfortunately what Penny didn't have there, and that is why he couldn't complete the lap. We've got Brown out on lap as well. I think it's Mason who's the only driver then on a quick lap at the moment, but we do have Sprint who's also emerged out of the pits as well. A yellow flag in two is one of the, I think it's Mason's teammate Hog then has just had a trip across the gravel then in sector 2, but luckily no harm, no foul then for Hog then, because potentially I think he might be through in this qualifying session now, and Mason now is just trying to use a bit of slipstream now for the Sprint now, but I think Sprint wasn't carrying enough, was he? Fizzy also out on the track as well then. Temp Shadow has come back into the pits then, and he will not be out again then. He hasn't got enough time now, so that's unfortunate for Shadow then. At the moment then, he is going to be hoping that someone behind to make some mistake. Then Mason doesn't look like he's made a mistake. He hasn't indeed then. He is alongside his teammate there. Mason is in fourth position now. Look at how hot it is here in China. A very unseasonal hot day here in China, isn't it? Lovely stuff. Gaz, unfortunately, there, it looks like he's abandoned his time then, and he's called it a day in qualifying 2, unfortunately. So Gaz then out of qualifying, same with Penny as well, and JJ. So we got Sprint who can still make it through there. Fizzy is also out defending his position as well, then, because Fizzy has to defend his position with Sprint and Brown out there, and I think that both these drivers could definitely make it through in the qualifying 3. Let's see what they can do as well there. So Brown then coming into the second intermediate split time as well. He's done a 51.3 there. We haven't got a marker, have we? Because he hasn't set a personal time yet in the Williams car then, but as he's now out of turn at 13 and down the back straight, and let's see what he's doing. He's almost he's light as a feather then, isn't he? Because look at that fuel light is flashing down the right hand part of the screen, and it is flashing now. He is going to be he's going very light indeed then, which means he doesn't have to carry that fuel anywhere, doesn't he? He doesn't have to brake it and stop it, does he? So Brown there very much said he is in qualifying trim. Is he? There's a Mercedes having an issue. It's Fizzy who's had some issues there in turn 13, the bank to turn 13 now, unfortunately. Brown out of the front turn, straggling that curve then. Is that a problem? No, it's not. He's meet in the McLaren sandwich. He goes across the line. He's 4 fastest. Fizzy in major trouble, and I think the Fizzy might be exiting his qualifying session, unfortunately, because Sprint coming across the line and Sprint on the soft tire. Sprint goes fast, second fastest. 2 dead second in front of Timmy, and unfortunately we have lost Fizzy, who is out of qualifying, and we didn't see what happened then, but it looks like he made a mistake then in the very long left-hander, right-hander of turn 13 now, unfortunately. So Fizzy out of qualifying, but he does start in the 11th position now, which is a golden. I think it might be a kind of like a. I think it might be interesting now where Fizzy's starting in potentially, because that could. You can choose whatever tires you want to start the race on, so that might be a big benefit then in this Grand Prix itself. Because China is a track and it's quite brutal on the old tires, isn't it? I'm not sure the soft tires are a very good race tire, is it? I think it might be the medium and the hard tires that might be a preferred race tire. But the top 10 then, the likes of Sprint, who has qualified in the top 10 on the soft tires, has to start the Grand Prix on those soft tires as well, doesn't he? So that might be a problem there for Sprint, but we'll find out. And just to confirm, then we got 5 drivers on the soft tires, 5 drivers on the medium tires. That is absolutely perfect for me then to have a cracking race. Then out qualifying is JJ, Penny, Gaz, Temp Shadows, and Fizzy also out qualifying. So those are the 5 drivers that have unfortunately exited the qualifying session, but we will see them in the race as well. Shaney Boy saying that I'm a legend. The shame that I'm going to I'm very it's a bit of an emotional day there. But thank you very much for the comments. I'm very it's a very moving indeed. Then thank you very much. Same with Frank Mead. Then of course he's always in the he's more than not in the comments, isn't he? Very good stuff indeed there, Frank. Thank you very much there. Of course, the voice of IRC, you will be missed. And I think that accolade definitely goes to Matt and Dave. I would say, of course, they were a great commentating duo, weren't they? Especially in the elite days. I really enjoyed that, and I think that the Bahrain season 1 elite there was one of my all-time highlights of IRC then, of when they was taking us through that incredible qualifying session. Brilliant stuff indeed, wasn't it there? We've also got Gareth saying, been a joy with the Haas, but looking forward to getting behind that Aston Martin then. Indeed then, so Gaz will be driving the beautiful British Racing green livery from next season in 10 and Canada, because it's a completely different game, isn't it there? Of course, I think the cars have 10% less downforce, if I'm not very much mistaken then. So how is that going to impact these drivers then? Is that got to be a question that will be answered next season as well, won't it, in IRC? Shane saying you got lucky, Gareth. Don't let it get to your head, though. So we've also got Sam Carton saying good evening, and Shaney Boy also saying good evening to Sam as well. Lovely stuff indeed. 7 cars out on circuit then. 3 cars are in the pit lane. And yes then, so we got so on board of Asdog, who's the leading car out there at the moment then. So he has got clear track then, but of course the drivers behind him will have better track conditions then, of course, then, because there's more perenni, what's that? I don't know. Well, it's some kind of Italian beer, perhaps. But, of course, there'll be more Pirelli rubber laid down onto the track there. So, with the last car out on circuit is one of the McLarens, and it's just coming out now. I think it's Mason C in the McLaren. So, he will have another pole position. One to his name then, Mason C. But we'll soon find out. But, of course, we'll find out then if Mason C there could fit a start to the final race of the season on the potentially pole position then. Also, then it's starting to slow down slightly. And Timmy there is having none of this, is he? So, look at that. Timmy just blazed past Asdog there. I wonder if Asdog wants a cheeky little slipstream then, because he's now got Steers also overtaken as well, and Valis is all as well. Oh goodness me then. So I'm wondering then why Asdog has dropped back in this crocodile site then. Perhaps then he does want a slipstream then, but he'll only want a slipstream now at the final part of that lap then, doesn't he? So he doesn't want the slipstream before that part of the race, does it? Before that part of the circuit, does it? It's Asdog is off, Ben. I thought I seen it in the toilet, and he's retired there. I think that's the slightest of taps there for Asdog, but he's lost his front wheel. He's lost his front wheel there, and I gotta say then that fall can be quite hard, but goodness gracious me then, Asdog is in the wall. He's out of qualifying. He backed off in that Mason is gone as well. There's 2 cars gone in qualifying already. Oh goodness me, and the drama's really kicked off straight from the get-go here in qualifying. Goodness me, and that is a shocker indeed there for some drivers. Asdog backed right off, didn't he, on his outlap there, and I think that is that cost him, do you think? It's the tyre temperature just dropped too low. We've lost 2 drivers then. Mason got off as well, the very fast turn number 13 then, so unfortunately Mason will not be on pole position then in the final race of the season, unfortunately, as I may have given him then the commentator's curse on that one, unfortunately. Timmy coming down the back straight then, and so then Timmy is on a quick lap as well. He's on the soft tyres, of course, and that's the quickest tyre, isn't it, to set your fast on the red stripe Pirelli tyres then. And Timmy, when is he going to break then? Look at Steve in the background now. I think that's perfect. That is an absolute perfect distance that Steve and Val has got of maybe getting a 60 now. They're sprinting. Brown have not come out just yet. I'm wondering if they're using an extra set of tyres, perhaps, then, which might be the reason why they haven't come out in qualifying just yet. Then Timmy goes across the line, and he is fast. What about the world champion Steve? Now he is fast and almost a second and 2/10 up there. And Val is gone a second fast, I should say. Then just in front of Timmy, and Steve are very much there. Impressive time indeed. What about Matt? He comes across the line. Matt goes at 4 fast, and Matt does. I think he'll be a bit disappointed that lap so far. What about Roscoe there? He was flying in qualifying too, and he's doing a very good job in 3 as well. He is second fast, and no one is going to to a whisker, a breath of Steve at the moment, hasn't he? Because that is very much the gap between Steve and Roscoe at the moment is night and day, isn't it? But of course, it doesn't matter how big the gap is in qualified. The grid positions are always staggered at the same distance, aren't they? So, and Roscoe is, as we've mentioned many times over the season, this season, you do not want to be on the front row with Roscoe because he is not shy to stick his nose in, is he? And really go for the overtake there in turn one there. It's going to be very inviting for Roscoe. I definitely very much guarantee it as well. We've got Double Cream Cat in the comments. Thank you very much, Double there. I hear you leave, and then I will miss watching the races back late. I'll miss watching back the races after tonight, and your excellent commentary. All the best, Ginger. Thank you very much, Double. Very much appreciated. Of course, I'd also say that Double has had a fantastic season, hasn't he? I think that personally for me, I think that Double has been my driver of the season. Well, I say that, but what about Steve? Because Steve's been on another level as well. It's very difficult, isn't it, to pick driver of the season, isn't it? But I think that I think it might be. I think it's Steve and then Double, who are probably my top two drivers of the season. Magnificent stuff indeed. I would definitely say from there, but I'm not sure. But I've got to say, the more I think about it, then the more I'm thinking, but what about Timmy? Because this is his best performance in an IRC season in his career. And he's been really impressive indeed, hasn't he? So it's, I've got to say, the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking, maybe I'm not too sure about that. Hogg is out on the circuit now then, and there he is then in the McLaren. And there he goes then. Of course, everyone's got Garen saying all the best, Sean RC won't be the same, and all the best, mate. Thanks for believing in me. Laugh out loud then. Of course, sorry guys, I don't need to, you don't need to fight me there, because of course you've shown it on the track, haven't you, there, with 12 points this season. And of course, all those points have come since the Belgian Grand Prix this season, and that was back in round 12, was it? It was round 12. Of course, you got a fantastic sixth position, I think, in the Australian Grand Prix, which is actually my favourite race of the season. Of course, that was a brilliant race, wasn't it? And of course, JJ got on the podium as well. And of course, I'm thinking, and now I'm saying to JJ, with that incredible performance in Australia, that he definitely deserves a mention for the good season as well, doesn't he? JJ, impressive stuff indeed. That as we're now coming down the back straight, then as Hogg then, who is not going, is he going to be able to use the slipstream here of Val? I don't think he is there, because he's on a in lap one, and Val has gone third fastest whilst I've been reminiscing in the comments there. So Val is been third in the Williams. That was a good time there from Val. Very good stuff indeed. As I think he'll be coming in the pits now though. So we've got Timmy out on the lap, then we've got Hogg also out on the lap as well. There's only 8 qualifiers in qualifying for each line. There's another card that's in the Matrix style there as well. Nosey, the season 5 world champion, and there's oi oi oi, as he has just thrown himself in the comments as well. Nosey did, of course, he was the world champion for the the Force India team, wasn't he, back in season 5? It was, goodness me, it feels like such a long time ago, doesn't it? Of course, in the Force India days, before they transformed into the Racing Point last season, didn't they? So we got then Hogg then coming down in at 2 turns as well, sprint, saying, going to miss your excellent comms, all the best, thank you very much. Sprint indeed then. So yes, it's going to be a very emotional end then, isn't it, here tonight? Indeed then, but hopefully, but I think that it will be a fantastic way to go out, wouldn't it? There, because I reckon it's going to be an absolutely incredible Grand Prix here in China, isn't it? So we got Hogg down in the second intermediate split time, so 51.3 in the second split time. And 1 and 4 minutes ago in this qualifying session, there's Hogg there, hacksawing away at that wheel there in the beautiful orange McLaren, and it's papaya, isn't it? It's the papaya orange McLaren. DRS and on the back straight as well. This is going to be Hogg's one and done lap. I feel like he shouldn't. I don't think he's got enough time to come in and come back out of and come back in. Fuel up the car there, thrown another set of boots and go back out. So this might be one and done then for Hogg. He is 6th fast at the moment, and he hasn't set a time on the board though, has he? That's just the running order of how they finished in qualifying too. Hogg comes across on. He is now at 5th fastest in the McLaren and goes across the line. Good stuff indeed there. Timmy has gone into the first sector, 900 a second up in the first sector there for Timmy. This is the important one though. It's the second sector, isn't it? He really wants to He really wants to nail this up, doesn't he? Timmy, though, he likes to go for 2 runs, doesn't he, Timmy? I think he's one of those drivers that really likes to do a build up a lap, doesn't he, Timmy? So he is just into the second split time. So I think Timmy is just looking at me old stats. I don't think Timmy had a pole position this season. I don't think, I think he had 2 last season, didn't he, Timmy did? But this season, though, in terms of his actual race performance, it's definitely his best season, isn't it? We're on board there with the Mercedes looking backwards, and you can see a bit of that floor just in front of the rear wheel. That will all be cut out next season there, as the FIA and the rules there and the rule makers have cut out a big Z then as for the team for the cars then, haven't they? So they to produce less peak downforce. Timmy coming across on, he doesn't need any more peak downforce because he's second fastest, and they have got within 0.6 of a second now, Steve, but he's still the benchmark with 2.5 minutes to go there. I gotta say, Steve is very much there, very much on his perch. Is that? Oh no, and just I say that he's spun off there. Steve hasn't he? Oh goodness me, and he's damaged the car. And is that going to be that could be a crucial part of this qualifying session there for Steve and for the Red Bull team, perhaps then. I don't think this qualifying session's over yet then, because the track evolution around here is so steep, isn't it? It is so steep indeed then. I'm not sure if Steve is going to be safe yet, is he? Timmy, is he going for a second bite of cherry? He is, he is. And here he is, and there is the limping Red Bull just in front of us as well, as Timmy is now into the second sector. Steve gets out of the way now as well. There he is, and limping home. That is it for Steve. He's out of qualifying. Timmy is 0.3 of a second down the second split time. I wonder if he's going to back off now. Has he got enough fuel then to he's got enough fuel then to do a one more run then for Timmy then. We're going to leave Timmy to it for a minute, because we're just watching that Val now in the Williams. He's full fast. He's on the second row of the grid. Val's qualifying performance, and look, this is another driver that I might actually throw into maybe one of my drivers this season, because I think Val his qualifying performance has been fantastic this season. He's been the qualifier of the season, perhaps I would say. Definitely, very much so. As Timmy now is going for one more time run then. So Timmy is going for one more time run, and he is 4/10 of a second away then. So it's all or nothing now for Timmy. Has he got enough in the tank then to go for pole position? Ross goes out there. Matt is out there as well. And Valen is being very greedy on the exit there. Is that going to cost him any time? It hasn't. He's 0.2 of a second improvement. He is 4th on the grid. And let's see. I think he's out of fuel, because he was weaving from left and right there. So I think that might be done and dusted then for Val here tonight. Unfortunately, Timmy is 0.8 of a second away in the first split time, so I think this might be Timmy's qualifying performance done then. So we're just on board now in Matt then, as we're going into turn 1 then, and here he is as well. And look at that then. It's not very much of a braking zone, but the turn tightens up in the into turn 2, doesn't it, where you have to drop from 5th gear to 3rd gear, and it just gets slower and slower as there. And of course those kind of cars there really build the thermal degradation, thermal wear in the tires. There we go, that would do, wouldn't it? Of course, I was trying to eat a thesaurus earlier on stage, just didn't work, did it? But Matt then is in the second split time, so it's gone purple in the first sector. That's a very good time indeed then for the Alfa Romeo, and car 40 in the second section now. Then this is where all the time can be won or lost. Then everyone is now out on a lap then, apart from Asdog and Mason, who unfortunately in the hedge then. Steve made a mistake on his outlap there, and he is out. He is done in qualifying. He's 5th fastest. First fastest. He's fastest, I should say. Hogg is 5th fastest at the moment. Val is, I think, crawling, is he? He is crawling, and he's crawling back to the pit. Same with Timmy as well. And so Matt and Roscoe will be aiming for pole position. What about Brown in sprint as well? Potentially then, but I think they might be slightly out of the battle then. But let's see what Matt can do as well. Lovely rear wing shot here from the DRS, and that's a great show then. That's a great way to show the DRS then, as Val has finished off its qualifying performance. He's 4th fastest on the final. On the final race then of the season, and Matt then into turn 16 as well then. Oliver as well then, straggling the curve side, and Matt comes across the lines in pole position. It's not pole position there, but it's on the front row of the grid then. Where does Brown come? Brown goes 8th fast then in the Williams then. We've got Roscoe, and Roscoe's 0.3 of a second up. Is he going to be back on second? No, he's not. He's 4th fast in the end. Roscoe is. He's on the second row of the grid. He is in 4th position, Roscoe. Steve on pole position, and he done it straight from the get-go. It is the first run that very much made tonight tonight then for Steve, and he is on pole position and for the final time in F1 2020, and by half a second, then really underlines his season this season, don't it? Matt and Timmy there half a second away, then Roscoe in fourth position, Val in fifth with sprint six, Hogg and Brown seventh, eighth, and Mason in Asdog. Unfortunately, their qualifying free run ended quite early on though, didn't it? Race is coming up in just a jiffy. Oh, the safety car's out. Oh, lovely stuff indeed then. Right, and so, yes, the safety car's out then, but hopefully that'll be the last time we see the safety car tonight. Of course, there is, but having said that, personally for me, I love it when the safety car comes out, because it just it builds up the drama, doesn't it? For me personally, I've got to say, I love action-packed races, but I'm not sure the admins will, of course, will they? So there you go. I'm all about the entertainment, and the admins will probably want an entertaining but clean race, won't they? And I'm sure it will be a clean race then in this race then, as of course, as the final countdowns on then for the final race then of IRC on F1 2020, and let's see how this one is going to shake out then. Of course, Steve then, who's had a magnificent season, hasn't he? I think I've counted up his wins last week, didn't I? So he had that incredible run there, didn't he? Where I think he scored like I think he had 11 Grand Prix wins in a row. That's ridiculous, isn't it? He's had 14, 15, 16, almost 7. I think he's had 17 wins in his 22-round season, and that is ridiculous, isn't it, to say least? As Matt is there, he's done the Schumacher tactic there, Matt has, hasn't he? Remember what happened in Silverstone back in 1994 there, where Schumacher did the same thing there, and I think did he get black flagged for that, or was that for something else there? I get very confused at the 94 race there in Silverstone, but yes, of course, Schumacher did get black flagged, didn't he? In 94 Silverstone. He got 2 race suspended ban, didn't he? JJ once again then having issues getting off the line there, JJ, as because he had the same issue in Bahrain as well, didn't he? Unfortunately, so there's something wrong with that Ferrari start motor, perhaps. Steve on pole position and fantastic performance there from Steve. Matt is alongside him on road 1 then. He is leading the formation lap. We got Timmy in third position, Roscoe in fourth, fifth is Val with 6th sprint, and Hogg 7th, Brown in 8th, Mason 9th, and Asdog in 10th position. Mason and Asdog didn't they will set time and qualifying free, as unfortunately they hit the barriers quite hard, didn't they? We got medium tires then for Steve, for Matt, for Roscoe, for Val, and for Asdog then. Soft tires then for Timmy, for Sprint, Hogg, Brown, and Mason. And all those tires that have already done a qualifying lap in qualifying 2, of course, and so they will not have as much life as the drivers that are going to come up in the next, coming up in the latter half of the grid then, which is Fizzy in 11th position on the medium tires. And Temp Shadow, it is David Snart in 12th position on the hard tires in car 72. And only 1 or 2 drivers on the hard tires. Gaz is gone for an attacking first stint around here on the soft tires in 13th position now. Penny in 14th position now on the medium tires. JD got some technical issues in the Ferrari. Hopefully he'll start the race in 15th there, but he's on the medium tires. Double in 16th for McLaren is almost off the circuit. Dart Destroyer in 17th position now. As McLaren's off again now, goodness me. Dart Destroyer there in the medium tires in 17th position. Only his second race starting IRC then. Of course, I think he did a good job in Australia there a week's time and one last week then, so let's see how he progressed. And the double world champion T7 then, the biggest shocker tonight then, in 18th position then, of course, so unfortunately he has lost his title for the season. He was going to become a triple world champion in RC. Unfortunately that was not the case then, but I think that target is definitely very much in his mindset for next season. And PB in 19th position now in the Red Bull, is the Red Bulls once again bookend the field then. It's first there for Steve, 19th for PB. We're going to go out racing in just a jiffy as well, as we reach 9 p.m. UK time as we're about to start the final race of F1 2020 here in IRC then, and we're just waiting for those red lights to go on then, and they'll be going out in just a minute or 2 as well. We're on board then with Steve, 28 laps to go around this Grand Prix then, and here we go then, as PB is just lining up in 19th position on the grid then. Now then, the tension is building up. The red lights are on. Then there they are, and the red lights are on. Then, and here we go. One more time, they are going to be released. It is lights out, and let's go for one more time on F1 2020. And T-Sammy is dropped to the back there as JJ is not got off the grid, and JJ is in major trouble. Saying he is out of the Grand Prix already now. Temps is coming up as well. So just having a look then, we've got yellow flags that occur, and then it's, oh gosh, there's a McLaren off, but it's Hogg who's facing the wrong way, then Hogg is off, Roscoe is off as well, and that's not good at all, is it? And JJ, I think, will be disqualified from the race, and yes, he has been disqualified. He's out of the Grand Prix, JJ is in, so that is such a shame on his final race of the season. And JJ out there. Brown is at free position. He's had a scorchy over start. That's a fantastic stuff. The yellow flag says it's just the Florida recovering. T-Sammy is up in 250 position. He gets past at PB, who is on the hard tires. And that's a Mercedes going on the inside of Fizzy there. And Gaz also at free position as well. Temp is up in position there, but Gaz going back on the inside. He'll have the outside though for this turn here. And Fizzy there giving him just about enough room. And oh gosh there. And goodness me, and that's great racing there for both those two drivers there as well. And now it's Alfa Romeo and Timmy going head to head as well. And of course there is a oh gosh there. And oh goodness me, and this is getting very tight in the midfield. There's the Timmy is up into a very solid second position. Remember that Matt and Timmy, there's a point separate. That's a McLaren off, and he's in the wall. He's gone off, and that's Mason in major trouble there. And I think he did something similar in qualifying. And that's the second McLaren got off as well. It's a terrible start for the McLaren team. And a safety car now, a safety car in the opening stage of this race then, isn't it? Oh my word, that action packed then right from the get-go here in China. And Mason there dropping down 8th position there, but luckily he does have a safety car now. There's no damage on the second McLaren. Steve then is not in the pits, is he? But he has dropped down the order, and so Sprint has come into the pits, and he is on soft tyre. Sprint is, of course. Then so let's take a look there to see what tyres is going on. Is there damage on the Sprint's car? Then no, it isn't. This is a strategical call there for the Renault team. Then in their final race tonight, then is there on the hard tyres and Sprint hits, and before coming out of the garage, Roscoe in the pits, and he has got damage. We've seen him going off, and he's also on the hard tyres as well. But luckily, the safety car shouldn't hurt him too much in terms of time now as he comes out of the pits now then, and away he goes. Fizzy also in the pits. Well, another strategical call then. Three drivers are coming to the pits. Mason and oh goodness me, it's the McLaren team, the McLaren mechanics that are having to do double time here as both McLarens and having a terrible start. And I love this shot, by the way. Fantastic stuff. These McLarens are still getting into position as well. And then here comes Hogg. Then you see he's on the hard tires along with PB and Mason. So 6 drivers are coming to pits. I'll quickly catch my breath, and an incredible start into the Grand Prix. PB and Mason and Hogg are not first, second and third. Oh goodness me, and what has gone on there? And Double has had some issues. I think the Dart Destroyer has gone to the back of Double, and he hasn't damaged the car, I don't think now, but it's 2 drivers have got penalties, 5-second penalties here, and they were on the fringes of the points then, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case now, is it? As they're now just weaving from left to right then. Of course, they're just warming up their tires then. So so hopefully the tower will sort itself out then. Let's quickly go through who the big winners and losers are from the opening stage of this race then. Hogg is dropped down 11 positions, same with Roscoe as well. Mason's also dropped down 8 positions there. Double and Dart Destroyer up 7 positions apiece. Same with the double world champion T-Sammy also up 7 positions. Goodness gracious me then. Absolutely incredible stuff then, to say the very least. And Penny is, of course, no overtaking on the safety car, but Sprint and Penny are getting very familiar with each other, aren't they? So, Sprint, Fizzy, Roscoe, PB, Mason and Hogg have all come into the pits and changed tyres and hard tyres, and for Hogg, for Roscoe, Fizzy and Sprint, and the other 2, PB and Mason, have gone to the medium tyres, and so the hard tyres are going to go a very long way in this Grand Prix. We'll see how that progresses. So safety cars out, and hopefully we'll be back in this up. There's a Crocodile. It's just weaving from left to right, then trying to keep some temperature into those tyres, of course. And so that is what the driver said. We'll be trying to do that as well. So Mason has come into the pit. Oh, he's retired. Mason has, and I thought he was in the pits, but oh, he's got off at the exit of turn number 16, and he is out of the Chinese Grand Prix. JGL, the race, had a major issue on the Ferrari, and that is unfortunately it's cost him a start. And Mason out of the race as well under the safety car, so he's going to be kicking himself. We were saying in the qualifying show that he had a very strong beginning start to the season. He has tailed off lately, hasn't he, Mason? As unfortunately, and that is a pretty disappointing way to end his season in IRC. But I know that Mason, I'm sure that Mason now will be quite keen to get back in the car for season 10. Then, of course, season 10 of IRC next season. Goodness gracious me, then that's incredible, isn't it? This series has been going on for 10 years. Magnificent stuff. Right then, so Steve is leading then. He is on the medium tire side, so it's going to be Timmy who will have the advantage, won't he? Because he's on the soft tire, so he's already used that advantage to get past Matt. As a double and Dart Destroyer again have gone into each other, and that's another 5-second penalty. That is 2 5-second penalties. Safety cars in now, and there's Bermalander racing off into this. Is a beautiful safety car, Mercedes, and he hasn't. These two haven't got damage then, but double and Dart Destroyer are not going to be very on speaking terms, are they, buddy? Under this one, unfortunately, because they're both very much in the points of this the moment in this one there, and this is a crazy. This can be a very crazy race. As the safety car has really thrown a curveball into the mix, hasn't it? With the back the back 5 cars has come into the pits, of course. Then so Steve's going to be very concerned about that, and Matt and Timmy are as well, and of course Val and the second Williams of Brown then. So on board there with Tim and Dennis. There's a big old gap between the Haas of Gaz and Shadow there. Shadow there's just dropped out slightly back at the moment. And Shadow only one of 2 drivers then who started this race on the medium tyres then. And of course, I think PB was the other driver, but he's gone to the medium tyres. And so technically PB doesn't need to come in the pits again, but he will need to come in the pits again because the medium tyres shouldn't get to the end from there. But I have been wrong before. Oh, goodness me, Steve Dennis just starting us off, man. And we're back racing and here in China. Oh, gosh, and that Aztec there is just about kept it on the straight and narrow somehow, and goodness me, then look at them. I'm surprised at how spaced out they are. Aztec they're very close, and Val is going on the inside of Matt, and Matt is going on the outside there, so Matt will have the inside into turn number 4. He does, you know, and he is back through then, and Val wrestling with the car then, so Val has had a much better start as in Matt then. Matt is going to have to defend the inside line into turn 6, and he does that quite nicely actually. Oh, but Val is coming out of nowhere. He's going up the inside there. Matt was kept the door wide open there. He's seen that coming from a mile off, didn't he? As a Temp there has gone on the outside of Gazette, and Temp is through up into 7 for this. Now he's had a fantastic debut here tonight. Temp is in the Ferrari, magnificent stuff. As T-Tam has just gone on the inside then, on the outside of a Dart Destroyer, and he is through up into Temp position, and T-Tam is then. So he is now into the points already after only 4 laps in the Grand Prix. A fantastic start there from the double world champion, and we'll see how he goes from here on in the Dart Destroyer in 11th position at the moment. Gaza wrestling with the car, and Roscoe all over the back of Fizzy. That is these 2 drivers then who were pitted earlier on then. And we've also got look, Fizzy there is struggling there. We've also got Temps getting past Astok as well. Astok having an appalling start here, and it's kind of like a downward spiral at the moment there for the Racing Pool driver. His teammate Roscoe's just got past Fizzy. There's no DRS just yet, but look how much they're gaining on them on a Dark Destroyer. And look, Astok's going to have 2 overtakes and down this back straight. He has done it at the inside. And away he goes ahead. See, it's at the fast side race. There's debris down in turn 14 then. I'm not sure what that's come off then, but that's a bit of a worry then for one of those drivers then. It's Dart Destroyer who is into the pits then. So Dart Destroyer then has got some issues there, and this is an unscheduled stop I think for the Renault team then. And he is now coming into pit, slowing down then to 80 kilometers an hour in the Renault car is then. We're just waiting to see what the mechanics are going to do then. Is he got damage on that front wing then? Let's take a look then. So he's in the pits now, and he is just he's got a 5-second penalty in Dart Destroyer then, so he's just I think that was a scheduled stop then. I don't think it was a scheduled stop, but I think that there's something majorly wrong. Sammy up the inside then, double then, of course not yielding then. Lovely shot here from the nose cone here of the AlphaTauri car, and of course the AlphaTauri in 2 seasons in IRC has finished here first or second then, so they have had a very good debut 2 seasons here in RC, so very good stuff indeed there. Very impressive to say the very very least. Said as Brown is in trouble. Brown is facing the wrong way. He is spun it there in the Williams, and look at how hot the track is here. And Brown needs to get that car moving quickly. Then otherwise he will be disqualified. As the FIA on this game is quite brutal, isn't they? And Brown has spun up the tyres there, and he has gone into the wall. I think that might have been frustration there for Brown, and that is such a shame, isn't it? And I don't know, so I think he thought he might have got away with that, but unfortunately got on the loud pedal there, and Brown has damaged the car, and so he might be hoping for a safety car of some kind. DRS has now been enabled. Now his temp shot is up into a fantastic 5th position there on the hard tyres as well. So my goodness me then, what a debut here tonight then for Temp Shadow then. Great stuff indeed, and maybe we have got a new star of the future here in IRC then, so being very interesting to see how his career progresses from after tonight then. But he is very much a Lewis Hamilton-esque kind of debut, isn't it, here tonight? They're very much a ruffling the feathers then of the RCO guard here tonight then. And I've got to say that there is going to be a lot of drivers concerned about Temp Shadows over the coming few races. Then lovely shot here from the Roscoe nose cone here, and he's going up the inside. We've got yellow flags. That is it's one of the Haas cars. Is Roscoe and a double. Then they do come to blows, don't they? Those two drivers do, and there have been some war of words from both drivers as well, haven't they? But of course they are competitors, and they got fire in their bellies, haven't they? And they want to they want to score as many points as possible, don't they? And of course when you're competing quite at almost at the when you're competing at the high level of sports and gaming, then you do not you are going to get ruffled every now and again, aren't you? And of course that just shows the competitive nature of all these drivers here tonight. Gasly getting a bit squirrely on the old rear there. He's damaged the car, and I think that's what the end plate damage is from, going down into turn number 14, I think. Listen, on board Roscoe. He is thinking about it. Is there going to be a dive from here? It is a dive from here, and Roscoe sends it up the inside. Gaz has had to go wide there, and goodness me then. And yes, Roscoe there, gosh, I've got to say, he's never shy of an overtake, is he, Roscoe? And he's through and passes Gaz. Moves up into 9th for the 8th for this now. I think Gaz might be a bit unhappy at that, as he was forced to go off the circuit slightly. But look at this, he's having a look then, but no dice there, of course. There's not really much of a braking zone into turn 1. And you do need a lot of help there from the driver in front there. Is that Hamilton and Button was Button attested to in 2000 over there, where Hamilton just decided to send it up the inside, didn't he, in the 2011 Grand Prix, wasn't it? Of course, as you might tell, I do quite like the 2011 Grand Prix. Penny's in the pits there for the Haas car. JJ is last session, and that's such a shame there for JJ, isn't it? He's out of the Grand Prix, and I think that his last couple of races was really robbed by the dodgy motor on the Ferrari. Into the pits there comes Penny. So both Haas cars that were carrying damage them, but Penny's now onto the medium tires, and I don't think that's going to get him to the end of the race just yet. I think he needs to eke out those tires slightly more. I got to say, the soft tires are doing very well at the moment there, of Timmy and of Gaz, and I thought those soft tires would have gone off well before this stage of the race, so very good stuff indeed. Yes, we have had a safety car, but still, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive of how they have really held on there as well. Yellow flags in momentarily in turn 1 there, as Brown and Penny were quite in close company as well. At the moment, as it stands, that Timmy will be in 3rd position in the World Drivers' Championship, then was Matt down in 4th, but Matt does has to go slightly longer, doesn't he? And I thought is that talking of Timmy, he comes into the pits now after doing a 6-7 lap stint there on those soft tires, plus qualify as well. So that's a very good innings there from Timmy. What tires are going to go on now then? I wonder if he's going to go to the hard tires now to the end of the race. No, he isn't. He's thrown on the medium tires, and I'm not sure the medium tires will get to the end from that stage. However, the soft tires have done really well tonight, haven't they? We've got a bit of a queue here now, as we have got one of the Renaults who has come a cropper down in the very. Oh goodness me! And Fizzy was having a look up the inside there, but double slammed the door shut on the nose cone of the Mercedes. As that double there is more interested about gas there, as I think the soft tires there are starting to come to the end of their life, and Timmy's come out right behind at PB, and Timmy there is going. This is the the undercut then, which would be very powerful, I would say, in this Grand Prix there. So he very much wants to was get a job done, and he gets the job done quite quickly and early on. Then PB trying to come back at him there, but I think that Timmy's got the ground, he's got the place, he's got the grip on those tires as well. Then so that should be fine. Gaz there just in front of us. Well, then Gaz then, who is 8 laps on those tires, I forgot him, but he didn't do qualifying on these soft tires, did he? Gaz didn't there, so I think that he'll be. I think that he might be able to go 1 lap more then. But having said that, then we're going to keep an eye on the garage and on the pit lane and see if the Haas mechanics are getting a bit twitchy there, getting those wheel guns ready then for Gas to come into the pits there and change onto a different type of tyre, and whether that's the medium or the hard tyres remains to be seen then. Double that is not going to, he is not even interested about waiting around to see what Gas does, because he is through, he passes Gas, moves up into 8th position. Good tidy move out from Double, and it just shows that how far he's come this season there. As oh gosh, there Gas has gone straight into Double, he's damaged the car, and Gas there is going, oh goodness me, yellow flags was fluttering, and as Gas there, but I think he was coming in the pits there, and he was I think he was just missed time when Double was going to break there, but that's unfortunate for Gas. He has damaged the car in the Haas car, and that is going to be, well, luckily he isn't out of sync too much there, but the Haas team now are going to, that's going to be an extra 5 seconds or so for the wing change alone now, and that's the chain now for Gas, I think, now, because he's sitting very handsomely in that not in that 9th position or 8th position now. He's on the hard tyres now, Gas. That should get him to the end of the race, but those hard tyres might be a bit worse for wear by the end of this one. Then on board then with Sprint at the moment. Then Sprint then, who is just at the moment, he is just in a 10th position. Then Sprint is, and so he's just keeping watch about seeing what's going on between Fizzy and Double. Then he is close enough to a strike, but he doesn't want to be too close there, as he doesn't want to wear out these tires too much. I remember Fizzy and Sprint have come to the pits already. The highest driver to come to the pits said earlier on then was Roscoe. He is on the hard tires, he's going deep into this race, but I think he'll be going on to soft tires at the very end and going for a sprint finish. And I think the sprint maybe as well. That would I think I was a disappointed time there where I could have really put a pun in there. So absolutely disgrace to him myself on that one. Well, see at the moment, just walking away from this race, he's now almost 9.1 seconds in front of Matt, which just underlines how great Steve's been this season, hasn't it, really? I've run out of adjectives to really describe the man there, describe the beast in that Red Bull. Oh, goodness me. I must say, oh, it's a Fizzy there. Look at this, and there's Fizzy there, just get on the power battle, goodness me, what a game have I been playing? On the power, on the accelerator pedal, is at the inside, he passes Double, and he was slightly off the track there, so I'm not sure if that might have been a bit neutral, not there from Fizzy, but nevertheless, and he is through and away. And of course, and I don't think any stewards has come down on him, so I think that is a done and dusted maneuver there, as they did get more momentum there for going wide. Then Dart Destroyer has just dropped down into 16th position there, but he has got a run here on Penny, and let's see if he goes for it. He doesn't go for it because Penny is it's quite comfy through there. And look, Brown there's having a look down, and I think the Dart Destroyer had to turn out with Dart Destroyer's got damage on that Renault, and I think that he's on a lot of understeer there, as Brown then is thrown up into 17th position then, and you can see that we've got it's gone from very sunny to very overcast all of a sudden here, hasn't it? So is there rain afoot then in this race? I haven't heard much about any rain yet then. I was saying earlier on this look, Timmy there has just gone up the inside there, the outside pass a Sprint, and he's up into 10th position now. Sprint Timmy is there as oh goodness me, then Fizzy going very wide there out of the exit of turn 13, and then now Timmy, he doesn't want to lose too much time, does he, because he's racing Matt and Val at the moment there, and of course Temps as well, who's the highest on those hard tires, so Temps is on a great race so far, and he's looking at a potential podium here, of course, and we're keeping an eye on how his progress is, but Temps is having an absolutely barnstorming of a debut here tonight, isn't he? Very impressive stuff. And you heard that beep there, didn't you? That was the DRS then, wasn't it? It was on Timmy's car, and he is gaining on Double. Double there is done 10 laps on those medium tyres, and Timmy is done 2 laps on these medium tyres. And so those medium tyres then are going to be a lot more grippier than Double is, than Double's tyres. But we're on board now with Timmy. Oh, he's getting a bit squirrely on the rear then, as he's all over the back of Double, isn't he? Even on that slight error, and he's going for it. He's having a look there. Is he going to send on the inside? No, because Double there just about parking on the racing line now. And goodness me, I think that Timmy felt he should have got the job done there, but he's now going on the inside then. Oh, goodness me, this is going to be perilous. Oh, it's double there, it's on the outside then. There he is, and double is dropped down into 10th position there. Timmy up into 9th, and double is not yielding there, is he? And of course, why should he? There's no blue flags at the moment then. Timmy is coming to the pits earlier on then. He now has to get through the traffic as quickly as possible. No one is going to be asked to move over on it. I don't think Timmy would ask them either, will they? Maybe his teammate, but perhaps. But of course, this is a very good opportunity there for Timmy now to maybe get third in the World Championship. Him and Matt are on different strategies, aren't they? I think that Timmy might have to do a second stop then. Whilst Matt and Co will be doing one stop here tonight. Then Sprint has got past Double as well. Double unfortunately is having a bit of a hard lap. He's dropped down 2 positions on this one. Timmy up into 8th position now. Fizzy dropping down into 9th. But of course, Fizzy, look how dark it's going to be coming out there. I'm reckoning that there's going to be some rain. There's going to be some sprinkling of the wet stuff. As a T Sammy and Asdog are fighting on the outside going into turn 1 then. And T Sammy has really put himself in the sharp window for a podium hit tonight, and great performance indeed. I think T Sammy just wants the Driver of the Day award, doesn't he, there for the double world champion. He is very much the meat though in the Racing Point Sandwich, and this is the final race for the Racing Point team here tonight, isn't it? Same with the Renault as well, but unfortunately Renault are not having as great race as the Racing Point team. Our Racing Point are 5th and 7th at the moment. They have an opportunity to get in front into 2nd position, the Racing Point team, but I think that T Sammy is doing a very good day, is doing a very good job though with the AlphaTauri team outfit tonight then to really keep him in that 2nd position then. So good stuff indeed there for T Sammy. Now then, as we're coming in now, T Sammy will have DRS, and he was quite close on the start-finish straight. Look how much time he's lost though. That is the dirty air effect, isn't it, off that long banked corner then. And look in front now, there is Matt, Shadow and Val, very close company of each other. Maybe not close enough yet. And we've got a Williams who's having an issue. Then it is Val's teammate then who is struggling. Then Dark Destroyer is back in the pits at the moment then, and as I'm just watching temps at the moment, he's got a bit wide then going into the final turn, and T Sammy is a bit too far back about it. Sprinters just got past Fizzy. I'm gonna look up the inside though. It's a Fizzy is not having that, is he? He's trying to go back up, and this is also a scrap for position then, as of course these two are on the same strategy at the moment. So this could potentially be an extra place, and later on this race, well, Double is also in the vicinity, and so is Hog as well. Pit window is opening for the soft tires and for a one-stop strategy. I'll be impressed if anyone was still in this race there on the soft tires. I'll be very impressed indeed. And Yellow Flag just behind us. I think it was just Dark Destroyer just getting off the throttle slightly just to let his rivals pass there, of course, as he is a lap down. Unfortunately, Dark Destroyer is but of course it's only a 2nd Grand Prix in IRC, isn't it? So of course Dark Destroyer just trying to feel himself in at the back end of the season here then, as he will be very much expected a major assault for next season. And Tebbs is now all over the back of Val, and I think that's where we need to turn our attention to. And indeed, we have to. Oh, and look at this, as a temp is up the inside. Val has dropped down into 4th position now, and Val will be a bit disappointed that one, wasn't he? As unfortunately, it looks like he was strong with the understeer. We only got to that battle a bit late, didn't we? And it looked like that. Val was really struggling on the over understeer. That Asdog is going to have to really figure out the fender. That how deep here on the brakes he's going to go. That he's going very deep. My goodness me. So T Town is going to go up and under then, and Asdog just cannot find the purchase, can he? It's through, and in 12th position, they're both on the same strategy as well. The life of tire there, but T Sammy there. I would say that they're both quite experienced drivers, aren't they? But I think that T Sammy at this moment in time has really kept his tyres very much in the prime condition, hasn't he? And that is crucial at this stage of the race. And I thought T Sammy was going to go wide there. I thought I put the commentator's curse on there. Double is now going to get that sinking feeling once again. Then Double is as some of the runners there are starting to come back through the field. Then Double is the final driver who hasn't pitted yet on the medium tyres, of course. However, he is sticking to the original strategy, and of course, so this will pay him off handsomely, I think, later on in the Grand Prix. So yes, Double is going to have to take the pain now, but he will get the gain later on in this one, I would feel. Half distances here in this race, and this is the final race that IRC is doing on F1 2020 before the they embark on F1 2021. Of course, new rules, new damage model, and it is good. And of course, there's new engine modes as well. There's a lot to look forward to in season 10 of IRC, isn't it? There's a new point system as well, really up for grabs, isn't it? Very much as a retro point system as well, isn't it? Feels very much like 90s and early 2000s, don't it? So that is going to be very interesting indeed. It's going to really be a very intriguing championship next season, isn't it? We're on board with Asdog, who is down the back straight then, and he is gaining on T7, but he's not close enough then to the double world champion. As T7 there, his next target is T7. Is Val. Val is in the pits, and there's Temps is now all over the back of Matt, and Temps is on a fantastic race. He qualified 12th. He's over the second. Is he? He's out of luck then, Matt. It's all contact there. As yes, banging wheels, and then Tim there is also on the spin as well. And of course, there, as we mentioned earlier on the race, you need to have a lot of assistance there from your opponents as well. Going into turn one, into the pit seconds. Val, he's on the soft tires then. So that just shows I know nothing about strategy then. As Val is going on to the quicker soft tire to the end of the race. I was thinking the soft tire don't do a couple of laps. My word, then he's going almost half the race on these soft tires, and Val is going to be quite quick at this stage of proceedings, isn't he? So we'll keep an eye on Val. Hog up into 11th position now. 10th position, double down to 11th, and unfortunately double does have those 2 5-second penalties that he encountered under safety car with Dart Destroyer then. So double might be a bit unhappy at that still. So unfortunately there is I'm not sure those 5-second penalties was his fault or Dart Destroyer's fault, excuse me. Was his fault or Dart Destroyer's fault? Then it's a yellow flag behind us. Then, as I think that the yellow flags was up briefly then before they've been put away again. Then Temps is still coming back at Matt as well. He is now 14.4 seconds in front of Matt. Then, goodness me, then he's only about 10 seconds away then from having an whole pit stop window in front. Then Timmy's progress hasn't been as electric as what I thought it would be. But having said that, he is only. He's only about 10 seconds behind Matt still, but I think he would like to have been a bit further up there, Timmy, at this stage of proceedings. He's done 6 laps on those medium tyres, as they now Timmy has them. But we'll find out then. Is that rain? That is rain! That is rain! It is rain then here in this race, and it has become very dark all of a sudden, hasn't it? And I wonder if this is going to catch out a couple of drivers, because Val is going to be spitting feathers, I think, if this rain gets heavier. And that might be why some drivers have been hanging it out there. Maybe some drivers there perhaps went on to the hard tyres very early on. Indeed, it's only light rain at the moment. And how heavy is it going to get then? Is it going to be wet enough for him to go onto those intermediate tyres? We'll find out then. But goodness me then. So who's in the box seats then? I think all the hard runners are going to be very happy with this, aren't they? So the medium runners are going to be praying that the rain is going to absolutely pour down the moon. And we're on board with Hog then, you can see then. And yes, then so it's a little flurry at the moment, isn't it? So this is going to be very much where it's about mind management now for the drivers, isn't it? As of course they can't panic about the sprinkling of rain coming out from the sky, can they? They have to be a bit concerned about their performance. Our Val is round at the rear of the McLaren car. Oh, now he's gone right into the McLaren car as well. As I think Val perhaps should have been a bit more patient next. He is on the soft tires, of course. With Hog is on 13 lap out. As Temps has got past Matt, then he has got past Matt. He moves up into second position now. Oh, he slows the car down just about then. Roscoe's got past his teammate as well, and Roscoe on to 13 lap out hard tires as well. And let's see then. So Matt has dropped down into third position now, and of course they're still hanging out then with the Asdog is in the pits then on lap 17. Then is he going to go for the soft tires, or what is he going to go for? So look at this. Then is now we got Hog, who's got past Fizzy. Fizzy is trying to go off and under. No, I think he's actually trying to defend there from Val, isn't he? He is indeed. Brown has gone to the intermediate tires there. Asdog will just taking a look to see what the Racing Point mechanics do. He's on the intermediate tires as well. Is that a bit too early then? But the track still looks dry to me, because it was very hot at the beginning of this race as well. We've seen a lot of the heat haze come off of the track, didn't we? So I gotta say, he's gonna have to be a monsoon, I think. Then Asdog out of the pits, and he's gambling it all on the intermediate tires, and whether the rain comes down in quite a flurry. Val is struggling there, isn't he, on those soft tyres there, isn't he? Of course, he has damage there as he drove to the back of Hogg, unfortunately, then, he was getting a bit overzealous, I think, on the old loud pedal there, unfortunately, in the Williams car. And that's unfortunate for Val, because he was having an absolute outstanding Grand Prix. He was standing up in the seat of that Williams car. He still is as well. He can still have a good race there, can he, Val is? But we're on board with him now, and I'm wondering if the Williams have been caught out by this weather, because surely he wouldn't have come in the pits there knowing that the weather was coming then, perhaps. And was there some issues developing then on the Pirelli tyres, just like there was in the Sunday's Grand Prix in Baku? Gaz dropping down the order, he's on the intermediate tyres. Well, I've got 3 cars on the intermediate tyres, and so it must be a lot more greasier than what we're seeing on the track at the moment. And Sammy is up in a third position there, passes Matt, and away he goes. And these medium tyres that are going to be very much to the limit and beyond. Then Steve at the moment is 17 seconds in front, and into the pits comes into the pits there comes T Sammy is in the wall. He's in the wall. There's someone else. The Roscoe's gone off, and it's he's gone off and into the barrier there. Of course, it was Hamilton's race ended there, and goodness me, it is very greasy out there. It's a lot more greasy than what I think it was. It's a virtual safety car, and I think it's for Roscoe's car. He's off and into the wall, and that is a shame there. And of course, he's crashed coming into the pit lane and into the wall, and that is such a shame. And Roscoe is going to be absolutely furious with that, isn't he? Intermediate tyres then for Temps, for T Sammy, and for Timmy as well, and sprinting the pits as well. McLaren mechanics are coming out in the intermediate tyres and going on then, and Racing Points challenge for second position, I think, is going to finish here. Drive through penalty then for Brown then for speeding under the safety cars. That Mercedes there coming out just in front of Double is done at 17-18 laps now on the intermediate tyres, and the front two have not come to the pit yet, as this is Double's first of 2 5-second pit stops, 5-second penalty, unfortunately, for the Alfa Romeo then. And so we've only got that's Dart Destroyer who's hanging it out there, but I think it's too much. DRS has been disabled then, and yes then, so the rain has come quite quickly, hasn't it there? And look at can Shadow take the lead of the Grand Prix here? Let's take a look at the interval. I think he's got a 48-second buffer as he has at the moment there. So I think Tem Shadows needs to be taking out a lot more time, but look at how much time he is taking out there, almost in every corner of every turn. He's every decision he's making on the wheel, as I think Steve might have known what's happened to Roscoe, because he was very gingerly coming into the pits. And look how dark it's going. You can see how luminous that sponsor board is coming into the pits. Goodness me, it's almost lighting up the pit lane here. Red Bull mechanics are ready and ready to go. Then the Constructors World Champions as well, as they were a bit slow then, getting seat away then, but well, I'd say a bit slow then, but that looks quite good actually. Matt into the pits now. Yellow flag then is one of the Renaults is having issues then. It is Dart Destroyer then, just limping at the moment. And look at how much time Matt has lost there for that extra lap then out on the intermediate tyres. And more yellow flags is fluttering then in sector 3, and it's Dart Destroyer again. Brown is in trouble then. Brown is in trouble. Oh gosh, Sarah, look, it's the new Destroyer struggling on the intermediate on these dry tyres. And Matt is in the pits. Brown is out of the Grand Prix. We're down to 15 cars then. Where is Timmy going to come out in front then? Timmy has come out in front of his championship rival then, and goodness me, and now Timmy is in third position in the driver's standing, so it's gone all peak tongue for Matt here tonight there. Goodness me. And Timmy is now into third in the World Drivers Championship. He is going to the IRC Gala. Oh, goodness me. And now let's see what Matt can do then. Can he get himself back in this one? Look at Steve's gap there. It's 17 seconds there. It's almost been halved. It almost has been halved in this flurry, in this rain shower tonight, hasn't it? As we've got a car just coming into the pits as a Dart Destroyer then, who is who, of course, I think he tried to ride his luck on the dry tyres on the wet track, but unfortunately that has not been the case. We've got a Williams off as well of I think it's Brown's car, who's just peeling off there in the as he decided to come out of the garage again. Brown's car did that, so a good 70 then, but the yellow flag there has disappeared, and Double down in 11th position about him, but we'll see how that progresses then. Everyone now on the intermediate tyres then. Val down in 10th position there. He's looking at a podium place, wasn't he? a couple laps ago then, but goodness me, there you go from hero to zero quite quickly in this life, unfortunately, don't you? And that's unfortunately what Val is feeling right now, but he's showing that he's got some pace, hasn't he, in this Williams? Fizzy is very much under the cosh now, isn't he? He is very much being put in the squeeze on now over Val in the Williams head. So look at this, oh goodness me then, and Val has got some real good pace around here, hasn't he? He's going to be so disappointed about that potential podium has now been thrown out the window, but he's up the inside. Fizzy is dropped down there. Fizzy just struggling, isn't it? Goodness me, and as they are very much fighting with the cars as well as each other as they go through. That's right under as well, but Fizzy is not giving up though, is he? He's got the Citroen. There's no DRS in these wet weather conditions. There is it. There. It's been disabled, hasn't it now? As it is deemed not safe, is it? So Steve then is now back in the groove and on the intermediate tyres, and he is not putting out a gap on the Davidson Temp Shadows, is it? But goodness me, Temp Shadows, T. Sammy up to a fantastic third. Fantastic stuff indeed then. And so in the Timmy then in full position mode, and Timmy is going to be grinning from ear to ear then, is that rain shower is really very much helped him out. We was questioning his strategy, wasn't we? About 10 laps ago. Wow, goodness me, I look foolish now, don't I? Because Timmy is up into a fantastic fourth position. Great stuff indeed there for Timmy. Absolutely, hats off to him, good sir. And Matt then, so at the moment, we've got, they're all spread out at the moment, so this is a good opportunity then to just quickly review the classification then. And Steve is in the Grand Prix there, but by 9.7 seconds there. Temp Shadows is not being dropped. He's on a fantastic debut tonight. Temp Shadows is really good stuff indeed. T. Sammy in third position there, from 18th on the grid there. Fantastic stuff there. Timmy in fourth position there. Now it's crucial for his challenge there for third in the World Championship. He's fourth at the moment now. Asdog in fifth then, with Matt in sixth position. Seventh position is Sprint. Hog is in eighth, and Val is the man on the move in ninth position now. Should be in the top 3 or 4 at the very least in this race there. Unfortunately, strategy course has not helped to know tonight. Fizzy in 10th position, and that's the final points playing position there. Double is coming out there, Fizzy though. He's in 11th position on Double is. 12th is PB. Only a quiet but solid race in that Red Bull. Very good 17th there for PB. Gaz in 13th position now. He has started to bear down on PB in 13th position there. Penny in 14th. New Dart Destroyer in 15th position there. As he's having a bit of a difficult time in these wet weather conditions, Dart Destroyer is that, but he's starting to find his form again. The race then, Brown now in a bit of a horror show, unfortunately. Roscoe driving into the coming in the pits there, unfortunately overshooting and going into the barrier, and the same thing happened with T. Sammy as well, didn't it? I don't think it cost T. Sammy too much time. He's still in third position, but unfortunately Roscoe, that was it. His day was done and dusted. Mason out of the Grand Prix, he had issues under the safety car, and JJ unfortunately he couldn't get going in that Ferrari, could he? And that he was out of the Grand Prix before he even started out for JJ, unfortunately. So those are the 4 retirements so far. Out of the 19 that started here tonight. Steve leads the race by 10.2 seconds out and on course for another Grand Prix win now. Goodness me, it's I gotta say, this season's been IRC, hasn't it? Fantastic stuff indeed there for Steve this season, isn't he? And you gotta say, he's gonna be a marked man next season, isn't he, Steve? There's gonna be 19 other drivers gunning for that title, isn't there? And there's no shortage of suitors. They're really going for that crown as well. And of course, they're same with the Red Bull team as well. It's the Red Bull of Steve and PB have been absolutely magical this season. So Martin Mona is now within 2 seconds. I would say he was in 2 seconds there, but not getting on the gas there as quickly as you would like. I would assume now. Double has got the gap down to 6 seconds now. Double, I said he is flying at the moment. Double is that 5-second penalty might cost him points, unfortunately, for Double, but that is just underlining what a great season Double has done this season. He's been absolutely magnificent, hasn't he? Double has there. He's now been to 11th position, doing a cracking job indeed. That's a mistake. Timmy is off the circuit there, and oh goodness me, that third position was painstakingly close for Timmy, and he called everything exactly right, but it just one wrong move on the accelerator pedal, and Timmy is into the barrier, and he has got damage to the car. And I think with 6 laps to go, then, unless a minor miracle can happen, I think that Timmy's pursuit of third position is done and dusted for a season. But he cannot be ashamed too much there. He cannot be ashamed at all, because he's had a good season, Timmy has. has, hasn't he? Really has indeed there. Since the start of the season, that he has very much been on the fringes of the points, hasn't he? I think it's only in 2 Grand Prix, according to me old stat book here, that Timmy has failed to score points. And that was at the Australian Grand Prix, and he scored no points in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Apart from that, Timmy has been in every point, has been in the points every single race. 20 out of 22 races scoring points. Is not too shabby at all, is it? So very impressive stuff indeed there for Timmy today. Guys is now very much causing some major aggro now for PB. As you can see, he's very much in the slipstream and in the wheel tracks of PB. As PB is, of course, in 12th position now. PB, as we already mentioned, he's on a quiet but very solid race, isn't he, in the Red Bull? And that's exactly what the Red Bull team wants, isn't it, now? But I think that the Red Bull team now have already, I think PB, Red Bull, and Steve have already been partying, haven't they? Because they won the constructors, didn't they? A few races ago, then his gas has gone on the outside of PB. As PB is showing these conditions at the moment, isn't he? His gas there is really very much flying now back up into 12th position there, almost going wide there slightly. PB right into the gearbox of gas, but PB has done, of course, PB down in 30th position there. Gas is about, it's about 23 seconds behind Timmy, isn't he? So Timmy is now out of the points, Double is in the points, but that 5-second penalty is really going to hit home for Double, I think, in the later stages of this Grand Prix. I think he's probably around about now, actually. He's going to be feeling very unhappy by that 5-second penalty, which he got 2, didn't he, under safety car. So did Dark Destroyer as well, unfortunately. They were a bit too close for comfort then between the two drivers, and unfortunately that has cost them both 10 seconds of penalties to their name in this Grand Prix. And you can see there's a bit of sunshine now starting to burst through the clouds, and the very dark clouds which is really gathered over China here tonight. We said in qualifying that it potentially might see a flurry of rain, and well, we have indeed, haven't we, down? It's really transformed the Grand Prix. Timmy down in 11th position now. We're just watching Val, another driver then who has had barely bad luck tonight, hasn't he? Really, what a shame indeed then, because I think that Val was very much at the races there, and I think that this season Val will be looking at his form now and be thinking about a lot of missed opportunities. I think Val is, because I think he should be a lot higher than 12th in the World Championship. That is I think that is my opinion there, but I think Val will be very much ready to build on next season again, and he's definitely going to be a constant point scorer, isn't he? At the very least, and I think he's going to have a couple of podiums here and there as well. As we're now on lap 24 out of 28 minutes, we're coming into the final stages then of IRC season 9, and what a classic this season's been. And it's been a record-breaking season for Steve, very much since the get-go, hasn't he? He's been a superstar, hasn't he, this season? And he's very much been Michael Schumacher. Steve's been very much Michael Schumacher in his prime back in 2004. It was very frightening. It was very frightening to see Steve Turner, wasn't he? He was a machine. I've got to say, if I didn't see it with his own eyes, I would strongly believe how quick Steve had been this season then, and just how dominating he's been as well. He showed it in the past, hasn't he, in flurries there. Remember the Italian? Oh, it's good to see we've got a Haas car who's having a couple of gremlins there. It's Penny there who's gone off the circuit there, and I'm not sure what's going on there then, but Penny going off the circuit then, and he's got a 10-second penalty then for just getting out of the way then. So that's I don't think that's very fair, is it? From the FIA and the Codemasters themselves said, but Penny unfortunately going off the circuit there, and he's still in 14th position now, so he hasn't lost too much time then, has he? This is the closest battle on track at the moment. It's between Val and Hogg then. Double has got the gap down to 4 seconds, but I think he's running out of time and laps now, isn't he? Same with Timmy as well, in 11th position now. He's 3 seconds away from Double. He's back in the top 10 at Timmy, but I think he'll be disappointed with the way this race is ending. Broke Gorilla, former IRC driver, then as good evening, hello from me and Tess, and good evening, Broke Gorilla. Hope you're having a lovely afternoon / evening on this beautiful Thursday then. I would say it's beautiful. I've just turned behind me and there's a lot of dark clouds behind me, so I'm going to turn back this way, and there's more dark clouds right in front of me as well here in China. But of course then when there's dark clouds in Formula 1 and there's rain on the horizon, it usually always means that we're going to get some action that we is. I do love it when it rains in Formula 1. sprint and on a very good strong end then to the season then, isn't he? Of course, he's missed a lot of races this season, sprint has, but when he has driven, he's driven superbly well, hasn't he? For the Renault team, as he is now. Oh, as Matt has gone very wide then, Matt has, but of course his battle for third position, and it seems to be done and dusted then. He just needs to keep it on the island then, with a few laps to go as well. But a sprint there, I wonder if Matt's going to let sprint through here, or is he going to be fight? I think he'll be fighting to the bitter end. Surely Matt would. Then he would like to finish his season there with a battling 5th position, won't he? But I think sprint there would like to finish the season there and getting a few more points in the piggy bank as well for his collection over the season. And Timmy is now within a second there of double. Then so Timmy there is very much going to be causing some major concerns there. That's a 3-second penalty for Fizzy. That's the first 3-second penalty we've had in this race, and so very good stuff indeed. After 25 laps, then that is the first penalty that we've had in terms of exceeding track limits. You don't count Penny's penalty because he was just getting out of the way of the leaders there, and unfortunately he was deemed to not be getting out of the way there and exceeding track limits. But I'm not really sure how that one's been worked out there. But so I don't think that's fair and fair for Penny to be given a 10-second penalty there. But Fizzy is the first driver there to be given a penalty for cutting the corners. And on board with Timmy then, so I think that Timmy there would be absolutely ruin his mistake there at the hairpin then, or was there an issue then with the hybrid power in that Mercedes then, or was there another issue then? I'm wondering if Timmy might I'm accusing Timmy of losing it on his own then, but I'm wondering if something untoward maybe happened there on Timmy's car, but we may never know then. But as Sprint has got past Matt then, and yes, he has got past Matt, and Sprint up into a 5th position now. Good time indeed. The rain is getting a lot heavier all of a sudden, and I think that no one's going to think about going onto the full wet tires then. Oh goodness me, Fizzy has lost some major time somewhere. Look, Fizzy is struggling. He is in some major problems there. Look, Double's on the outside then, and Double almost got off the curve as well. And I think that's good teamwork there from the Mercedes team. And now then Double though is trying to come back at him, and Double I think though is not using the overtake button, is he? Because I think he might be thinking about trying to overtake Fizzy rather than Timmy, because Timmy is on fresh intermediate tyres then and is really flying through the field. But Fizzy there is really, oh goodness me, there is basically parked in the middle of the circuit, and good gosh there, and Timmy there is very much lost all the momentum and some more. Timmy has gone a bit wide then, going over the curb as well. Then this is the Mercedes then going head to head, isn't it? Remember when we first started IRC then the Mercedes was a silver arrow, wasn't it? But of course, oh look at this then, and now then is Timmy's going on the outside and Fizzy is staying on the inside. We're on board with Fizzy. There is the nose cone on Timmy there. As look at this, and Fizzy there slams the door shut there on his teammate's nose cone here. But Timmy is going to go up and under, is he? He is trying to go up and under. Yellow flag and 2 as one. Oh gosh, there, Timmy's got too close into his teammate, and Timmy and Fizzy come to blows and have damaged the end plate on the Mercedes there. So to Timmy, I think that it's a bit of what a sad ending then to what has been a very good season there for Timmy. He's had a great season, I think Timmy has, in the Mercedes, hasn't he? And it's a sad way to end there. But I think that this one bad race there for Timmy, and this might be his 3rd race where he's not going to score any points this season. One bad race though does not put a bad mark on what has been a tremendous season from Timmy's point of view. This is his best season of his career to date then as well. So take nothing away from Timmy today, but he'd be a bit disappointed with that, as he lost the chance to go third then, and unfortunately he's now lost the chance of points as well, I would say then. Lap 27 out of 28 then here in the Grand Prix. 2 more laps to go of the Chinese Grand Prix. 15 cars remain. Brown, Roscoe, Mason and JJ unfortunately haven't seen the checkered flag in this race tonight, which is a shame, isn't it, for those drivers. They would like to finish off the season with a finish at the very least then. Steve leads the Grand Prix from debutant Temp Shadow, who's had a fantastic drive from 12th to 2nd. Magical T Sammy from 18th to 3rd. Impresses them indeed there for the double world champion. We've got Penny there just getting out of the way as well then in 12th position then. And look at this then, we've got to look, I think Double has got 2 more laps and actually to try and get past Fizzy. In 4th position there is Asdog then. 5th position is Sprint. He is catching on Asdog then, but I don't think it'll be enough. Matt in 6th position there, but he's not going to be too concerned, is he? Because he's got 3rd position now in the bag for his championship. 7th position is Hog then. A good strong drive for Hog then, but Val is trying to spoil Hog's party today, and Val should have been very much higher up the race than what he was today, but he's in 8th position and trying to get some more points on the board. Then Fizzy in 9th position with Double in 10th. Double needs to get past Fizzy and find 2 seconds over Fizzy, and I think he can. If Double can get past, he's quicker than Fizzy at this moment in time, isn't he? He's very much enjoying these wet weather conditions. I don't think Fizzy is in that Mercedes, but Double and Fizzy 9th and 10th position. 11th position there is Timmy, unfortunately, and he's going to get no points. And Gaz in 12th position, PB in 13th, Penny in 14th, New Dart Destroyer in 15th position there. Those are the 15 runners left in the Grand Prix in the final race of the season. And oh, look at this, and it's very much monsoon weather now, isn't it, as we are coming down the back straight, haven't we? Of course, I think Val is going to have one more chance going down here after this one, and also he'll have a chance going into turn 1 as well. I think this was his best opportunity though, isn't it? I think though the Double has a greater opportunity. There's a chance of overtaking Fizzy. Looks a bit hard, and Fizzy going a bit wide there out of the exit of turn number 13 as well. Steve is on the final up, and he's almost actually into the final couple of corners as well. Steve said, as he is just coming around then to finish off his season, and on a high. I think that Steve would not like this season to end, then would he? He'll love to carry on. Is the form he's in at the moment there. And the areas as well, as we might have a Red Bull, we might have a bit of a Red Bull, like both Red Bulls crossing the line there. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? See, and here is Steve Lennon. He's coming down the back straight. There's Pee-wee in the background there. Here are the Constructors World Champions there. We might have a bit of a show on the finish line then, as the Red Bulls that are going to finish side by side then. And what a fitting way to end this season then here for the Red Bull team, the Constructors World Champions. They accelerate then out of the second to last corner into the last corner. Steve wins the Chinese Grand Prix. The world, oh, it's PB there. Unfortunately, it's spun it there in the background. We don't get a Red Bull across the line, but Steve wins the Chinese Grand Prix. And I got to say, then, as I was mentioned already, and Steve would not like to have that season's right now, but fantastic nonetheless. And as well, then for Steve, he controlled this race from start to finish. And I think that I was talking about Australia being one of his most impressive drives, but I think that this one is an impressive drive from a different point of view, because in terms of how he controlled that race, Steve, was from start to finish was absolutely sensational work, wasn't it? From the world champion. Of course, we have T. Sammy, the double world champion, and Steve, the world champion, and for 2 world champions on the grid for next season as well. Then very much that is going to very much wet your whistle, isn't it? Wet your appetite then for what could be what's going to be a sensational season, isn't it? Val having a look then, but Peter, I think the Hog has got this one. Double is still underneath the wheel tracks of Fizzy then, but Double is now using overtake. Then this is now all nerve for Double. He does have a 5-second penalty. Does he? Double does on board now. Then it's just the last bit of action then, as Gaz there is got a yellow flag from somewhere there as he's up the inside. Double is out, and oh goodness me, then fighting then for Alden Morrison. Who was that there right off the circuit then? I think that was Gaz. I said Double is fighting then. I think Double's going to keep that 10th finish and even that 5-second penalty. So very good 17th there for keeping his head then, as a Double's got a 5-second unserved penalty, as a Gaz is out, look on the inside there, Timmy limping home in at the Penny is off and he's in the wall, as we've got a bit of a smashing end then to the season as well. On board with Steve then, of course, and he is the world champion. We've known that for a couple of races now, haven't we? And also the Red Bull the Constructors champions as well, but a very impressive season to say the very least there for Steve. Absolutely magical stuff. There he is, and driver of the day, T. Salmon, and I would say that I definitely agree with that, but I'll also give it to Temp Shadow as well. What an incredible debut that was there for Temp Shadow. Absolutely magical stuff indeed then. Steve then, who's on top of the podium once again then, the Ferrari of Temp Shadow. What an incredible stuff indeed there. Absolutely magical stuff in second position, and T. Sammy in third there on the podium then, but I think that T. Sammy is going to be coming back with vengeance, I think, for next season. That is a fact. That is a guarantee. I would definitely say there for T. Sammy, and definitely an intriguing driver. Temp Shadow is there. I'm very intrigued to see what he could do in IRC then. Well, let's take a final look at the classification then from the Chinese Grand Prix. Steve won the Grand Prix, pole position, fast lap, and the race win there. The full house then for Steve. Temp Shadow on his debut. Good result there for himself and for the Ferrari team. T. Sammy, driver of the day from 18th to 3rd, and strong performance there. Asdog in 4th, Sprint in 5th. Matt confirms 3rd in the Drivers' Championship with that 6th. Hog in 7th position. 8th is Val. Fizzy in 9th. Double Cream Cat in 10th position. Even with that 5-second penalty. Good battle between Fizzy and Double. Gaz in 11th. Timmy 12th. Penny 13th. 14th was PB and Dart Dart Destroyer in 15th, Brown, Roscoe, Mason, and JJ all retired then from the from the Chinese Grand Prix. I'm just concentrating here a minute because I got to add the boss into the party, and of course I think and then we'll just have a quick word then with Matt and his overall view then of what has been an incredible season, to say the very least, hasn't it? Thank you for everyone that's been participating in the comments section over the season. It's been absolutely magical stuff indeed. I really enjoyed the comments there from Frank, from Sam, from Shaney, from Shaney Boy, from Gareth as well. It's been a very good stuff indeed. And of course, Jan, how can I forget Jan? Always very much there in the comments straight from the get go as well. Goodness me, Jan's always in the comments before I even got myself prepared. Brilliant stuff indeed. Then Matt is in the gantry now. Matt, congratulations on your third, by the way. Fantastic stuff. But what about your final word of the season?
Well, I think the final word can only go to you, mate.
Oh. Well, when Matt gets himself ready, we'll have another chit chat as well then. So that was the final race. We had 22 races of IRC this season 9, and looking forward to season 10 as well with the Aston Martin and the Alpine teams that are going to be.
Can you hear me, Sean?
Yes, I can. Hello, Matt.
Oh, I'm back. All right, cheers, mate. Sorry.
Hello. Yes. What's your final word on this season?
I think it's been really good, mate. I'm obviously pleased for Steve. I think he's dominated, and let's be honest. There's been a few fights in between the field, so it's been all right. I think the last few weeks has been a bit of a lull, if you like. The new game coming out and whatnot, but yeah, relatively happy with third. I think it's the highest I've ever finished. So, but like obviously the news today, Sean, I just want to thank you personally from me and the rest of us for what you've done, and it's not the end, you know. There's a big hole to fill, but I think everybody, well, you can see by the amount of people coming in the chat, who want to say thank you. You know, it's left a big hole, but we wish you all the best with ALI. I'm assuming you're still doing that.
Yeah, every now and again, yeah. Sundays and Mondays anyway.
Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, but no, mate. I can only say thank you. I know it doesn't sound a lot, but I actually mean it when I say it.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much from everybody, the listeners, the drivers from past, presents. You know, you've kept a lot of people entertained on a Thursday night for the last year we've all had.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
No, I'm not, you are. But no, mate, thank you. And I think there's a few of us that want to say thank you as well. So...
No, I came in here to talk to Hog.
Oh, right.
That's it then, is it? That's it. Ginger Age is opening his bedroom door and going outside on a Thursday night.
I know it's shocking, isn't it? We'll get sunburned.
Gonna get sunburned. Have you got plenty of Factor 50 in?
Oh, plenty of it. I think it's going to be like I walk outside, I'm like, I don't like this, and I might come back in.
Yeah.
in October.
After 2 races.
Yeah, in October. Oh, yeah, I think I've done the wrong time of year. I should have done it in winter, really, shouldn't I? But yeah, thank you very much for having me. To be honest, yeah.
No worries, mate. It's been a pleasure.
It's been absolutely brilliant, mate. Cheers, mate.
Oh, thank you very much.
The meekisms.
I've had a few of those. It's been appalling as well. And some of the
what's been your highlights?
I was saying in commentary actually because I was saying about when I first started with IRC, which was, I think it was season 4, Abu Dhabi. I was shocking, absolutely shocking. But and I drove around with a broken front wing for like 10 laps, realising that I'm actually I should have just covered the pits. But there you go. But I think one of my highlights was actually listening to the elite race in Bahrain. You and Dave. And I was like, wow, they actually sound like Murray Walker and Martin Brundle. And I was like, that is amazing. That's where I really want to give the commentary malark a go.
Yeah, he's He's passing on the mic already, and he's trying to let me do it.
But I'm not sure. I love the elite race in Belgium. That incredible race where it was absolutely pouring down. Steve's race in Australia was magnificent. I absolutely love that one.
You've got to say Russia.
I was actually going to say Russia, where I've turned into Pingu.
Sammy, Japan.
Oh, yes.
Japan. Yes.
Oh, Japan as well. Gosh, that was, I got to say, I sounded like I was smoking 50 packs a day by the end of that one, wasn't I? Gosh, I lost my voice.
The Belgian pile-up as well.
Oh, yes.
Belgian pile-up.
Oh, there's been...
There's been a few, isn't there? There's been a few massive crashes.
And Italy as well, actually, last season. That was good. I think Steve came from 18th or something.
Any race I finished.
I think Steve Penny's 9th place in season 8 was decent highlight.
Yeah, cheers, mate. I'm going now. See you later.
You had a good race in Belgium as well, didn't you, Penny? Wasn't it like you were 4th or 5th, battling with Dave and Matt for ages?
Yeah, and then I turned my AI off.
It was lap, Sean. It was lap.
Oh, he was lap.
That was before ghosting. That was before ghosting with the Wow. Oh, Penny. I'm sorry, mate.
It's only me that can get slower with a steering wheel, isn't
it? I don't know, mate. I've still not used mine. Mine's a footrest at the moment.
Massive thank you, Sean, from everybody, mate. All the viewers, all the drivers. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Sean.
And I'll let you close us out.
Yeah, cheers, Sean, again.
Thank you very much, guys. That's very kind of you all. Thank you very much. Thank you to Double as well there for saying farewell, and Shaney, and of course Ian as well. Brilliant. Thank you very much for the comments. Very good stuff indeed. And of course, another personal highlight for mine is actually Double with an incredible season this season. I'm winning the Mick Harkonnen Trophy. Absolutely stunning stuff indeed. And that is the end for IRC season 9. Then looking forward to season 10. Then I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that because I'm really intrigued to see who can stop Steve there. Because at the moment now he's like the Terminator. I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop him. But there's going to definitely be T Sammy very much on the prowl. I'm very interested in that young driver Temp who come in tonight. There has really been storming, hasn't he, tonight? Matt is going to come back with vengeance as well. I expect Steve and Timmy is going to be forging some kind of alliance, then perhaps then to topple Steve off the top. Then that is going to be it for us then for RC this season. We'll be back. With F1 2021 then with new rules and new point scoring system. It's going to be mega. See you in July. Goodbye.